Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's Sunday. We're here. It's a Sunday. We're here for Witcher Sundays. We excited. I'm excited. It's time for the beginning of season four of Witcher Roads Home. Our wonderful Witcher TTRPG from our friends over at our Talsorian Games. Hashtag not sponsored, but if you want to check it out, you can check it out at the link in chat. Hashtag not sponsored. Right, I might change my brightness because it's a bit. That's a bit better. I don't look so shiny now. All right. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Welcome to the channel. Tonight will be a very special night. We have some interesting people. So first off, we're going to introduce our regularly scheduled Witcher of the evening, and begin with my dear friend Lindy. Hello, Lindy. How are you?
That's me. I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm getting through. It's a thing.
I feel that. It's been a heckin' week, but it's gonna be okay because we're playing Witcher, and I'm very excited. I will be playing Countess Brenna von Bedler of the Cat School. She may have some psychopathic tendencies, but I wouldn't worry about it too much unless you make her mad. Or if you're no one of significance and you find her alone somewhere, like in the woods, then I might have concerns.
If she needs to vent her frustrations on somebody else
Yes.
and you're in the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
She also has some interesting love interests.
Oh, yeah. She's made great life decisions.
Yeah, yeah. She's made absolutely
Ugh, I got him
wonderful.
first.
Oh, you got him first. You got him first. Mine are over there. Look, they kiss. Hello. Yes, indeed. If you, by the way, all the art that you see on the screen and those wonderful charms that Lindy was just showing off are made by our wonderful, fabulous artist Hannah at Animation Art on Twitter and Animation Studios, all everywhere else. Go buy her stuff. Just that's me. And then you'll notice that directly below me, there's somebody who's, well, late, but he'll arrive precisely when he means to, so we won't worry about him. But we have a special guest, and our special guest will be here for a couple weeks. But we should introduce, and we should begin with our special guest. So, special guest, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi everybody, Pope here, Pope World on Twitter, Pope World on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams, and today I am here with the Witcher crew in Mahakam, playing Durin Razmi, last scion of the Razmi line, and a smith of some renown.
Oh yes, that is right. By the way, I should have informed you that for your craft work, you definitely have a 4 in reputation.
Ah, I'll
And
have to adjust that on the sheet.
yes, I neglected to tell you that's my fault. But like we need some change of musical interlude here. Working, but I think we need, as we begin today, with Mahakam, under the mountain itself. Well, more accurately, unlike a work from Tolkien where a certain group of people who claim to be Durin's sons had a lonely mountain, Mahakam is a mountain range. North, south, extensive, divides Temeria from Adarn and Lyria. And you can hear throughout the entire mountain range the sounds of hammers echoing off the caverns, the calls of tradesmen, granite and marble echo sound, vast corners. It's loud and quite warm with the amount of forges running. from goldsmiths, ironworkers, steel, a couple other forms of metalwork that are unique to the dwarves of Mahakam. Where do we find Durin in the early hours of the day?
Oh, he is already working. He is at the forge. There is a bacon sandwich on a roll clinched between his teeth. As he's already taking some dark iron to the forge, getting it heated up for one of the day's orders.
And it's a decent bacon sandwich. I mean, pretty good. You can do, you can afford quality in your produce and imports. What are you working on this morning?
This morning is an order for a Dwarven style cleaver. Somebody is getting their son a gift for his birthday. That's in a couple of weeks.
A dwarven cleaver. Good weapon. Designed to additionally destroy and cleave someone, but more importantly, to cleave through plate armor. So yes, there are indeed sounds, world, movement. You hear the call of people in the corridor off your forge. One of the great secrets of Mahakam is actually the ventilation system. Very intricately designed, that many forges that need to be ventilated from an underground location. One of the great wonders of engineering and mechanics. I guess I could ask this question, Durin. Where are you usually located? Where's your forge located in relation to, say, major locations?
Oh, I like to be out of the way.
So not on a major thoroughfare.
Oh, no.
Away
No,
from
no, no.
most of the traffic.
Like, that should be places either for the great smiths of renown or those who are just getting started. The major thoroughfare is a place to learn, to prove yourself, and when you are in your heyday, take advantage of it.
And you, sir? Where do you fall on that spectrum?
I haven't peaked just yet. Close. Close.
Looking forward to it then.
Yes.
A small alleyway, cul-de-sac really. There's you, a small, out of the way kind of coffee, what we would call a coffee shop. Not quite a tavern, but a cafe where people can get food, but mostly just sit away and socialize for a couple hours, and a meeting spot, relatively quiet, and a jeweler. A jeweler of some distinction. Definitely falls into the if you have to ask, you can't afford it, and B, no, I don't have to be there, you should be able to come find me. Level of prestige and renown.
Gnome?
They've never confirmed, although they might have some gnome in their family.
Ah.
Although, maybe. No. They are. I need all. Wow. You know, I was so ready and so organized, and then you know what I don't have open, everybody? What do I not have open that I'm going to need today?
Boats, NPCs.
Oh, all those NPCs, yeah. Give me a second. I gotta get those out. That's the thing. This particular individual is older, distinguished. It all. Well, give me a minute. But as you do, and as I look diligently for all of my things that have notes on them, which apparently aren't loading at the moment, I have the question for you. What are your feelings towards your neighbors?
Oh, they're great. The cafe, that's just where if it's not something that I am making myself and I'm working for the day, it's over at the cafe. They're lovely people, diligent, usually happy. And as for the jeweler, well, it means the clientele that come down here have the money to afford what I'm going to charge them. Also, it means that there's not tons of people trucking through buying just bits and baubles for their loved ones. If they're down here, it's for a purpose, whether that's to eat or buy something truly expensive.
They are a slightly older woman. Well, there's some white in their hair. The red isn't fully red anymore. You had some intricate stylings, very much showcase her own work, and is well known to accentuate her intricate braids with her jewels and craftsmen. I put her. And she answers only to the name of Gemma. Whether that's her real name or not, no one is officially known. And quite frankly, no one is going to try and, you know, ask. But today, the sounds coming from around you are a little bit distracted. There's a loud amount of noise coming from the thoroughfares as the caravan has arrived. Always a busy day. So a large number of people are trying to get the attention of the caravan's trying to get the attention of others. It's busy, it's loud, sounds are echoing off the walls and even into this small little cul-de-sac that you have off the corner. What do you do on a caravan day? What does that mean for Durin?
Caravan day means a lot of taking breaks because there's going to be noise. It is going to be rambunctious. There is likely going to be at least 2 fights today.
There's already been one. You could hear it.
Yeah. And so it's a day of many breaks. The good day is 2 days after the caravan leaves. That means all the stuff's been offloaded, and what no one wanted that showed up that hasn't been picked over is now on sale, and all the excess people are gone. It's a fantastic time. You just have to wait and endure.
So basically, the rule is just this. It's the same rules as, a con weekend for a dealer's room.
Yeah, it's there's, especially for the main thoroughfare, there's those folks that have come in, they have cash in hand, they want to burn it, they don't want to leave this little section because they're afraid of the new place. So they stay at the higher inns, they buy stuff off the main thoroughfare, and then they're already out of cash and have to leave sooner. Then you have the people who have done the caravanning for a while. They've found their little nook and cranny. They know how to pace themselves. Those are decent folk. And then you have those that always think that they can get a deal, and we hate those people.
Yeah, those aren't good people. We don't want them. They're rather silly and don't belong. But on this particular caravan day, there's a interesting personage who has arrived.
Mm.
You can hear the rumors already spreading out. The Witcher.
Well, that is interesting. There's of the folks down here, the reason I have any reputation at all is I'm the guy who deals in silver.
And known to be such. We should focus in on our Witcher for a moment, perhaps.
Hi. That's me.
That is you, indeed. It's been 2 weeks since everything happened in Kagan.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What we should remind our viewers at home what exactly happened in Kagan.
Oh, you would like me to remind them?
I mean, from your perspective, you are the
Okay,
Witcher
so-
involved.
Let me see if I can remember what happened a couple months ago.
Yeah, it's always fun.
So, from Brenna's perspective, we're just traveling, going to Mahakam like we do. Pass through Kagan. Things are pretty normal. We are like, yo, Zerny, wanna come with us? And he's like, sure, I'll pack my bags. And we're like, cool. No road orgies, though. And he was like, oh, man. And then, we decided to maybe check in on Javik while we were here, because no one's really seen him in a few days. And so we do. And his like front door was unlocked, and we're like, that's sus. And the house was dark except for the lab, and we're like, that's also sus. And then he was like, I've figured it out. I've got it. That's his mad scientist voice, in case you didn't know. He's like, I know how to fix everything. And Kadarn was like, I don't think that'll quite fix everything. I mean, like, theoretically, it would not be great if you did that. And Javik was like, no. I've got this. I just want some assistance. And Kadarn was like, sure. And so Javik did this whole, like, ritual thing. But Kadarn was like, I'm gonna fuck around with it a little bit. And instead of it applying to, like, everybody and fucking over all mages everywhere, and just other people in general, I'm gonna have it just affect, like, our group. And, but the cost is probably gonna be a human life, you know, whatever, it's fine. I'm Kadarn, I'm morally questionable. And then it did cost a human life, it cost Javix, which, I mean, again, it kind of fixed more than one problem. I mean, it was sad that Javik died because he was like Brenna's half brother, but also he was like gonna do a big heckin' possibly world fucking ending, well, not ending, fuck, a world fuckovery spell, and seemed pretty insistent on it, and he was a little sus. He was doing a little sus, and if he realized it hadn't worked, he might have tried again. So he can't now.
Nope, he can't now.
So there's that, which is it's not great, but it's not bad. It evens out a little bit. A little sad. Brenna didn't know him terribly well, but like, oh, that's supposed to be family. Well, they're dead. That checks out. And then Yanto was like, last straw. I'm fucking off. Dan was like, me too. Let's fuck off together. And through a portal. And he took a carriage. But he wrote a note to Brenna to I don't know, just to let her know kind of the gist, but not say where they're going. And Brenna got the note and was like, you assholes! As they rode off through a portal. And she's like, well, I guess it's me, Ardzo, Zerny, and my stepdad.
Yep. How's that going for you?
Fun. Oh, the timing is interesting, especially since Ardzo is due to transform any day now, really, because it's timing.
Oh, that is the other thing I should tell you. It's been 2 weeks, so you are.
Because I know it was going to be around the full moon.
Yes, it's the
or the new moon. I'm sorry.
The new moon, because you and even here's the other thing. It is technically the summer solstice. And the new moon will be in 2 days.
Okay. Fun. So much fun. So Brenna's been a bit of a sourpuss. Because, fuck those assholes. I need them anyway. Just when she was starting to get friends, they just, it's hard having emotions. They're just so difficult to deal with. Just really work on squashing those down.
Yeah, and then, there's all these things going on with Ardzo and his family issues.
Yeah, I don't think I've asked a lot of questions about that because I don't think he's wanted to talk about it.
No, I figure Zerny's been doing a lot of talking for them.
Oh, I imagine Zerny's just done a lot of talking, period. Over the trip, and Brenna's just like,
Well, he has. The benefit is that he's been distracting Carwyn.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
And
they can talk.
They can talk. Yep. Zerny has invited Carwyn to a couple of his orgies.
Oh, I don't want to hear about any of that or the results of that, or if that's a yes or no. No, good.
But I mean, he's working. Zerny pointed out that Carwyn has been stuck in a sarcophagus under the river for 50-ish years.
Yeah.
He's offering some stress relief?
Yeah, no, Brenna does, no blood relation to this guy, but doesn't want to hear about it. Just spends a lot of time with Confidant, riding ahead a little bit, making sure the path is safe. While everyone else is in the one wagon that we have now.
Yes, the one with all of the shit
carriage.
in it.
Yes.
Because they took
everything. Yes.
Everything's in this carriage because they took the coma carriage with he took the books from
yes.
Banard.
Whatever he was reading at the time is what he had with him.
Because Cadarn is missing a leg, and still, when you spoke,
but all the other shit from Banard is still in the carriage.
Yep, and all of the shit from Yanto's house.
Oh yeah,
and all of the shit from Javik and Yanto's house.
Oh yeah, we did raid that place too. I forgot,
including the painting.
Yep.
No, not the painting. We left the painting.
No, Ardzo took the painting. Ardzo took the painting.
Oh, he rolled it up.
It was rolled up.
Do not unroll it. That's the one rule Brenna has. Do not unroll that in my vicinity. I don't want to hear it being unrolled. Like 50 feet minimum.
someday I will find an appropriate artist for the painting. Someday.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, there's so much shit in that carriage. I imagine that they're no one's riding inside of the carriage. They're up in like the driver's position.
Well, I
So
mean,
you could
there's
fit two people
probably
up there.
you could probably fit a lot of the. I mean, most carriages are designed so a lot of the storage is actually on the top and on the back, rather than inside.
We looted Banardi onto his house and Javik's house. I don't think there's any room in that carriage.
This is true. You do have a lot of shit with you.
They're riding coach. They're right up there. Yeah.
Yeah, they're seriously in the economy class, coach.
Yeah. Yes.
Although it's yours, so.
I mean, it's nice, but they'd be nicer inside the carriage, but there's no room.
Wait, I should ask the question. You made the coma carriage the Van Velder carriage because the other carriage had the secret compartments.
Is
So
that what we did?
Yes, so you have this.
I thought we made the coma carriage the secret compartment carriage. Let me see if it's in my notes. Let me move my dinner plate.
Checking
Quietly
my
this time.
notes. Because 3 seasons of this, everybody, and if you've missed out on a single episode, I would like to point out that it's all up on YouTube in a very nice handy dandy playlist for you.
See, oh no, that's right. I had a fanboy in Beauclair. I was like, no.
Mm-hmm. You did. You don't know where he is either.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear.
You don't know a lot of things. It's fine. I'm mildly impressed about how my nails are not reacting with the
Catechin
greens.
kidney. I don't think I have notes about the coma carriage.
I mean, my note says the coma carriage that you didn't want to that it was the coma carriage was yours because the secret compartment. There was the question of whether the secret compartment could work with the hospital tent. And that
Question
whole,
whether the secret compartment would work at the hospital tent.
well, I don't know. I have written down hospital tent question mark secret compartment might be compromised, coma carriage. Therefore, Von Welder. But that's what I've written down. But if you guys want to have it the other way around,
I don't know. It's been a hot minute and I don't have it in my notes. I bet I know who does have it in their notes. They're not here yet.
no, they aren't. But so we'll put a pin in that. There's a
We'll
carriage.
put a pin in that. There's a carriage. It's a nice carriage. Both were very nice.
Both were very nice.
We're past tense.
The carriages are actually in pretty good condition.
There's
It's the rest of us.
There hasn't. Nobody's taken any. The carriage hasn't taken any damage.
It's just we all get off the carriage, take a bunch of damage, and then right
Considering
away.
one of them's been filled with bleeding people and the other one has all of Banard in it, I think they've seen better days.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. The shocks are gonna be gone.
Yeah, you're
on
gonna
this
need.
carriage.
Well,
New shocks.
One of them.
Yeah, no,
doesn't have
no.
news.
I'm seeing this carriage and I'm getting visions of the early section of Green Mile when they're offloading John Coffey and they're like everything's on the axles.
I mean,
It's
this
a heavy
is
carriage.
This is fair. It's a heavy carriage, although one of them is slightly better for that than others. So, as you come in, the giant doors of Mahakam stand in front of you, swung open, intricately carved and with reliefs of various scenes, melding into each other. There's this moment of like, is that carved or is it melted even from the stone itself into a shape, sung in being? Where are you headed, Countess Baron von Velder, Witcher of the Cat School?
I think the best place to head first, because I've got so much shit and people with me, would be to find an inn.
Have you been to...
Brenna has never been this far north before.
You've never been this far north.
Nope.
But you do have the letters of introduction from...
I do. Yes. I've got all the letters that my husband gave me for
Yes.
all the things, whoever they're to, whoever they're for. I have those.
Okay. Ardzo, however, has been to Mahakam, but it's been many, many years.
Zerny. It's been less many years.
He comes back more frequently.
Yes.
He is.
I think we're relying on Zerny for this one, and I'm a little scared about that. Yeah.
Carowin has been to Mahakam, but that was 50 years ago. At the well, 60 actually.
Probably around the same time as Ardzo. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will let you roll. Wait, hold on. Artel Sorian, but which game are we playing? What's the skill?
That's a good question.
I will let you roll either streetwise or business. To find your way.
Let's see. Where is Streetwise under
They're
the
both
skill?
intelligence.
They're both intelligence. Oh, Brenna doesn't have any Streetwise. Brenna does have a little bit of business, though. Because she's married to a count. So, knows a little bit about business. Let's see. Business. 12. I rolled a 2.
Yes, and as Anageek reminds me, there was the attempt to run from fire, and
That's true. Yes.
Yep.
We were successful. It was just
there
messy.
there was some skid marks, scuffs on the paint, because somebody failed their ride check. One ride check
wasn't
failed.
me.
One ride check went awry, and the horses got spooked, and it was a runaway carriage for a little while.
Yep.
Yeah,
so there was some
I caught up
scuffing.
and I took over, and they're like, "You don't have to," and I was like, "I've seen you drive."
That was an answer. All right. So this leads with a 12.
Yeah.
You're coming in again.
80% better, but I didn't. That's fine.
You came in to these great doors of Mahakam. They are, to your knowledge, have never been closed. They will eventually be closed 200 years in the future when Nilfgaard gets too close, but
yeah. That's 200 years in the future.
And Nilfgaard is a pissant backwater at the moment, so who cares?
Yeah. Who cares about Nilfgaard?
Absolutely no one of consequence. But now you've come in, and they're the grand entrance. You can see the caravan in front of you. There are a couple guards who start to come up and question you, mostly because they're, the city guard of the entire nation of Mahakam.
That's fair.
Then they clock the swords, and they're like, nah, we're not a problem. Above our pay grade. Again, they're gonna wave you through because they have this giant caravan that's just arrived.
Yeah.
That's much
Witcher
more...
with a stuffed full carriage. Okay, that's fine, I'm sure.
It's like, they came back from a hunt. There's probably creepy shit we don't want to actually look in there.
That's what's in there.
Like,
Not
we don't want to...
Bernard and a mage's house, and...
I'm gonna say that, but I have to remind you, you do have a bunch of drowner brains.
I do have a bunch of drowner brains. I have so many drowner brains. They're important. They're a very important component. They're used a lot.
They are. They're a very important component. But you have a bunch of those, and so, like, the guards are like, nah, we've done this job once. We've searched a Witcher. Caravan smuggling, possible bigger issues. This is what we're gonna focus on.
They'll never suspect the Witcher smuggler. No.
Yeah, but at the same time, you won't be able to get the smell out of your clothes, especially your uniform, for at least 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, no, it's a problem.
It's an issue we don't need to deal with.
Brenna just buys new clothes every so often. It's just like, and time for new ones.
Yeah, and
I bought some for this journey specifically so that it wouldn't be awful.
Post-fire and drowner brains, highly suggested.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You have some very nice fancy duds too.
I got fancy duds, I have casual duds, I have travel duds. I got all the duds.
You have all the duds. Duds all over the place. But
Gods and the carriage that has too much stuff.
Yes. Yes.
but you are in the best place in the world to relieve yourself of some of that if you wanted to try and sell it.
Possibly. Yeah.
So, again, you can come through. There's this large main thoroughfare. You make your way down it, and you can find couple miles in, because again, Mahakam is an entire mountain range.
It's big.
It's big. And you know generally where you have directions generally, and Zerny is assisting you.
Mm-hmm.
So Zerny can kind of tell you where to find. Well, would have heard of Durin Razmi. Durin probably would have also heard of Zerny. We'll find out if that's a good thing or a bad thing in a few minutes.
That family.
That is a thing that can happen. And
yeah,
I
will-
should also remind everyone, because this is a thing, and we have new people coming to join us. Thank you, new viewers, for coming and hanging out. Chat, every time you donate a luck, it goes in, because we're playing the Witcher TTRPG system, which is based on the interlock system from our dear friends at Artalsorian Games, hashtag not sponsored. Luck in this game, instead of being in D&D, which offers a reroll, in this game it adds 1 point, which can be the difference between life and death. Literally. To the total of a roll. So yes, your donations from chat are frequently life-saving. But you can find an inn that's a little, further in, maybe just off the main thoroughfare. Like, Zerny will ask you if you want one on the main thoroughfare.
No.
Okay. Well, there will be one
Less
a little...
people around, the better.
But I do need you to make me a roll, please, as you're making your way through on this road. And again,
I would love to.
I'll tell you in a minute. Give me a sec. It'll be fun. It'll be great. As you make your way through, you kind of stand out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a dwarf. I'm also not a human or just a regular witcher. I'm a half elf. Looks like an elf. Lady witcher. I stand out.
Mm-hmm.
And my clothes are nice for a witcher too.
Did I hear about you before you even step from
Probably.
down the city?
Yeah.
So I need you to roll reputation, please.
Oh no. Okay. I don't think I've had a roll for this yet. Where is it?
You should have. Before you roll.
It is in background.
It is in background.
Yes.
And before you roll, let me check your sheet to make sure that you have all of the yes. And you have that extra reputation with mages. Yeah, okay, good.
Yes. Which I'm hoping there's not a lot of here in Mahakam.
I mean, they would come here for enchanted items because dwarves are the only people who can enchant things.
Also, if you are looking for the best staves, that's gnomish work.
All the
Yeah,
gnomes.
well, let's not think about that. Let's just click the eye, I guess. I'll just roll my first reputation roll.
Yeah.
Oh no.
20.
I don't think that's good.
No, that is
probably.
good. It's pretty good. It's a 20.
Does that mean people know me though? 'Cause
There are
that's
people
bad.
who are recognizing you.
That's not good. See, that's why it's. And I only rolled
Recognizing
and I
you
rolled
specifically.
a 3, which means I rolled almost as bad as I could have, and it's still too high for Brenna's liking.
Look. Nah. People,
It's just
there are a
harder
number of
to indulge in your hobbies when people notice you.
well,
That's all.
considering that your hobby is murder.
Well,
Yeah, I'm... But it does
It's
mean
a cat school thing, really.
it does mean, however,
Yes.
um
My reputation precedes me. Is that what it means?
yes, more importantly, you can have this is benefit in social. It will give you a +1 in social combat.
Oh. Oh yes, that social combat that I was so good at.
It also means that you get the benefit of what's it? With a yeah, so level 7, a few bards have traveled the kingdoms telling stories of you.
No, no. Who are these bards? How can I murder them?
You can't murder
Oh,
them,
no.
as was evidenced in the Stream to End MS game. They just kind of exist. But what that also means is it gets you a plus. What did I say?
+1, you said,
Plus
to social
one.
combat.
+1 to social combat. But it also means that people recognize you, which means it also gives you a +2 to persuasion before you begin social combat.
Oh my gosh.
Which, you might want. Maybe.
I mean, maybe. Let's see, that would put my persuasion at, oh gosh, so high. That'd be like 8 total.
Yeah,
Instead of a...
and right now that's all positive persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a thing. Could also have negative persuasion too.
Yeah.
Excuse me, negative reputation.
I could, but thankfully one of my hobbies hasn't gotten out yet.
Nope.
So
Neither of your hobbies. Murder or the other one.
what? Yeah, that's fine.
The vampire thing?
What? I just, we just got on so well.
You did very
We did
well.
murder together. It was great.
I think you mean massacre.
Yeah, that's just the word for lots of murder.
Maybe. But the important part here, you managed to find yourself an inn. You are making yourselves comfortable.
Getting the horses comfortable. Brenna takes care of the horses first. She pays for rooms for everybody, and then gives them their keys, and then goes out to personally handle the horses because, Confidant has been known to be a little bitey if he's not a fan of whoever the stable hand is at the time. So,
Well, Arzo is avoiding things.
figured as much.
Zerny asks if you wish an introduction anywhere because he would love to introduce you to all of the best places in Mahakam, as he defines them.
Brenna ponders if that's a good thing or not.
Would you like to make an
perception? Oh, an intelligence. Yes. I would prefer an intelligence check, please.
Would you like an intelligence save about this?
Like a deduction or
A deduction could work. I would even let you perhaps I think deduction would be the best.
Sure.
It wouldn't be wilderness survival because you ate in the wilderness no more.
No.
Different kind of wilderness.
Yep.
19.
But with a 19, Zerny is not inherently a bad person. And if you
No. She never thought he was a bad person. Just thought maybe might not have the best reputation of people out there. Because there's a difference.
He doesn't have a negative reputation. Let's put it that way.
Okay. It's just a very special reputation.
It's just a very special reputation. And given that we are in a setting where you can, in Life Path, create character creation, spend an entire decade whoring and drinking.
Pouring and drinking. Yeah. But is that Ernie's entire life path? I just have to know.
That is a question.
Oh, okay.
But no, Zerny doesn't have a negative reputation here.
Okay.
There's no negative. The biggest negative might be that somebody possibly wanted to kill him, but that was a thing that was tied to our dear friend Detlaf. And Detlaf isn't here, and you cleared up that whole miscommunication.
We cleared up that whole misunderstanding.
Yeah, it was just a big misunderstanding, and so,
Yeah. Wouldn't worry about it. Okay. So it's just whether I want to hang out with the orgy guy. That's the thing.
but again, he also knows a whole lot of people
Because of the orgies.
Yeah, and he's on
Yeah.
a positive relationship with a
So
whole
he's
lot of people.
Good at the orgies is what I'm hearing.
Well, yes.
Okay.
He isn't a competitive orgy person like
no,
Kadarn.
he doesn't have a trophy or anything.
I don't think he
a medal.
competes in orgies.
No.
But he's also, you have to remember, Zerny arranges orgies, and that's,
he's the organizer.
He's the organizer. Hi, Pope. Welcome to the channel. How you doing? You forgot that was a thing, didn't you?
No, because I've been watching to. I just didn't know it was going to be a feature.
Oh, why wouldn't it be?
The organizer is, of course, a feature. It's been a feature since episode 1 of season 1.
Yeah.
Yes. In the needing of waterproof cups for chickens.
Yes. Yeah, for chickens.
Yep. So he is but again, you have to have a positive reputation to be somebody that people will trust in that kind of way, right? You need to have a certain level of trust and bonding. So yeah,
that's fair. I think Brenna, however much she hates it, would say something along the lines of, "Sure, a tour around the town would not be bad. I've not been to Mahakam, so."
Good. I will take you to all of the best places that don't involve the best fun, because you're not a best fun person.
Not particularly, no.
All right then. Well, that's the wrong accent for Zerny, but Billy
I figured it. Yeah.
Billy isn't here, and I can't do that.
The Nordling kind of accent there, but crossed with the Midwest a little bit.
Yeah, it went a
bad Skyrim accent.
Yeah, it went a very strange place, and it wasn't quite right. And there we go. We're getting closer. Zerny. There we go. I need to say the name a few times. Zerny. But he will, Zerny Gulo. He will help you find the right people, and as you start walking down the thoroughfare with him, he will lead you off of the main thoroughfare, and he'll go, all right, where do we go first? Where do you need to go first? Do you swords, blades?
Thinks about whether she should have changed out of her Witcher gear first or not. Goes, nah, it's probably fine. Haven't done any witchering, so it's just travelness. We all probably freshened up a little bit.
You probably freshened up a little bit, at least.
She's not wearing noble lady's clothing, though, at the moment. She's like, I'll just walk around as a witcher for now. Everyone saw me coming as a witcher. I might as well be a witcher for a bit. Maybe people will harass her less. I don't know. She doesn't know. She's new to this whole thing. She'll pull out the papers to see if there's anything that was marked urgent.
There are, again, a couple letters. One of them has a couple blood stains, because it was the one that was used to...
Yeah.
Well, it was the one that was on the table when the other letter was pinned through Eleanor's shoulder. Because that was in...
that was the whole time.
That was the whole time. But the letter that was on the top that is a little blood marked is a number of them addressed to Master Smith Razmi. And they're rather thick.
That seems important. Thickness denotes importance, right?
And there's more than 2 of them.
Okay. In that case, I need to see a Smith Razmi.
You're in Razmi?
Yes.
He is very nice. Maybe he'll agree to come to one of the orgies then. And he'll
Brenna's
go,
face shows nothing. It just lets him ponder,
he will
deadpan.
he will turn, like, kind of do that moment of like, I know exactly where I'm going, but let me reorient myself in this particular moment and go, all right, we'll go this way. And he starts leading you through these warren of tunnels. And some of them are large, open, 3-4 story tall, cavernous spaces. And some of them are, well, if you were any taller, you'd have to bend your head because
Yeah,
they're...
she's not a tall witcher, so that's
yeah,
helpful.
and these are all designed, and most of them are built for um built for dwarves and gnomes. And you will see a couple dwarves and gnomes, and of course the very occasional werebub who don't have as many problems walking around inside Mahakam. It's that nearsightedness that gets them in the outside world, but inside Mahakam, they do okay. They're very interesting. For those of you who don't know Witcher lore, werebubs are anthropomorphic, nearsighted beavers without tails. And they're just nice.
Yeah.
They want to help people. And they're short-ish.
Little werebubs.
They're little werebubs. They're bubs. So you see a few of them walking around. You do see a few other humans, but they're humanoids, I should say. And in the they are all distinctive because they are tall. We have some... I need to fix a thing. There, we fixed a thing. Love it. So as you make your way through, and your Zerny is leading you along, we're gonna jump into the personage who just joined us. With a very stylish outfit, sir.
Well, you know, one must always be presentable.
Always.
Yes.
It is midsummer. The doors of Mahakam stand open. The caravan has just been cleared by the guards. Your charming lady wife would not permit smuggling into Mahakam.
Yes.
That's too good a trade relationship. You don't want to screw that up. There are other places which she would encourage, perhaps not paying tariffs on certain goods, but Mahakam isn't one of them.
Indeed, of course. It's nice that we are able to travel together tonight, today, at this moment. We can't always, but I imagine I am sitting on one of the caravans, and with my daughter probably on my shoulder, or as one does when one has children and one likes them, carries them on their shoulders and has a joy.
I have a very important question for
Yes.
our new guest, whose name we will find out in due course. Do you like your daughter?
Yes.
Or do you just put her on your shoulders because that's the expected action?
Well, I mean, I like my daughter, my wife, of course.
Good to know. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I mean, they're not the most important relationship I have, of course.
Oh, no, of course.
But they're number 2 and number 3, I would say.
Number 2 and number 3. Just out of curiosity,
Hmm.
sir, who we still don't know your name or your. Well, you do because it's on.
You don't know my name. Well, I see.
Well, sir.
That seems to be a problem with you more than it does with me, doesn't it?
I don't know. Why don't you roll that reputation and see if you actually have a name worth mentioning?
Of course I have a name worth mentioning. If you don't know it, I feel like that's more on you than it is on me. In 18.
Well, maybe I've heard of you.
I hope you have. I'm not someone to forget lightly.
I didn't say it was lightly. I just said maybe I've heard of you.
Yeah.
So this leads to my next question, sir.
Yes.
Very important thing that it is. What do you look like as you ride on this caravan into the great doors of Mahakam, large, cavernous main thoroughfare?
Well, I suppose the first and most important thing, well, there are many important things to know about me, but one of them would be, since only what I look like, not about my internal fortitude and strength of character and importance.
Yeah, no, that'll all come out later.
Yes, just the surface things then. Well, first things I suppose you would note is that I'm a human. That would be a thing to note.
Yeah, so you do kind of stand out among all of the dwarves and gnomes, and that gentleman over there is a werebub.
Oh, well, that's nice. Werebubs, interesting. Yes, I'm a human. I'm wearing sort of brown robes with sort of over some padded armor, of course, because life is dangerous. One cannot be too careful. I have got a small capelet of crow's feathers that I have an amulet that you cannot see right now, but it marks me, of course. It's sort of you might call it a uniform of the Great Circle of Caird Mirkvid, which I'm sure you've heard of. It's one of the most important druidic circles in all of the land, actually. It's near
Is it in Mahakam?
Toussaint. No.
No, it's not important.
Well, interesting.
It's
I
a
have
surface problem. All you surface people problem.
Well, and I have a shaved head, and I wear war paint that sort of connect me to my traditions. I have sort of medium brown skin and slightly alarming blue eyes. And I carry a long, gnarled staff made of oak that is twisted around with vines. I'm armed and armored, and well, I'm with a caravan full of merchants, and I'm sitting on the right hand of a striking woman who is, well, in charge of these things. I have a satchel, and I look like a traveler. I'm certainly sure you must have heard of me, but nonetheless, I am sitting watchful and proud of the people that I'm with. Oh, and I should note I have a very small child on my shoulders who is also looking about as well.
Your wife.
Yes, she's lovely.
Yes, she is. Long, dark hair, intricately embroidered skirt and tunic outfit, commanding the caravan as it moves slowly. Again, this many people, the number of hawkers trying to direct all of the things the right way. These carriages or these carts are going towards this shops, these carts are going towards these warehouses, these are full of all of the foodstuffs that we're trading, all of the busy direction. You know that she will be busy for quite a few hours.
Well, I imagine she has trade and all of that. I will do my due diligence and follow her to where she needs to first start, and with that done, well, hopefully before she meets with any traders, that sort of a thing. I will give her a quick kiss on the cheek. Dearest, do you need me?
No, I think we are all right now.
In which case, I shall take this small little acorn and keep her out of your hair a bit longer while you do business.
I appreciate that. And she'll reach up to give you another kiss on the cheek. And then you'll hear the sound of something clattering, and she'll turn immediately and be like, "What did you break? You're paying for it if you broke it."
Come, little one. And I take my daughter and I put her back up on my shoulders. Let's go and take a promenade around the great city of Mahakam, shall we?
Oh, of course, remembering that Mahakam is a whole a nation. And some, unlike some people, not a small little...
It is an entire mountain range.
Yes, it's a mountain range. As you make your way around...
Oh, by the way, my daughter's name is Ainfra.
Well, that's a change, considering what you told me last time.
Did I actually give you a name last time?
You told me that it was named after your mother, Partha.
Yes. Thank you. I was like, where did I write it down? Thank you. Partha, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I mean, you can change it to Ainfra if you want.
In which case, my mother would have to be named Ainfra.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then it is done.
Well, okay. And it doesn't matter, because this Ainfra is not the Ainfra that you may have heard from other things.
No, not the same Ainfra.
No,
However,
it's not the same Ainfra.
I like it.
Other Ainfras, not all Ainfras are the same.
No, they're not all the same. I mean, that would be Ainfra-ist to say that.
Very true. But coming from Mag Turgo, there are quite a few of them.
Yes, it's a quite popular name.
Popular name.
But could you roll me an awareness as you make your way through this city? And you can hear the shouts of traders, the calls of people meeting ones that they know, all of these good things.
Quick question.
Yes.
What is the name of this capital city? Is it
Fun fact, it's all just Mahakam.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's, take that complaint to the writer.
No, I have no complaints at all. It's not polite to do so. An 18.
You can see that there are that most of the main thoroughfare that goes for, like, of course, this main street, main boulevard, which is part of this giant cavernous space, and with the echoing sound of hammers and shouts, all cacophony sound bouncing off of the granite and marble that make up this carved home of Mahakam. This main thoroughfare stands easily 6 stories to the roof, and there are a couple smaller branching roadways. You can see traders hurrying, major guild masters have their shops on this thoroughfare. You can see large numbers of, the biggest of the taverns are on this kind of street. None of the brothels, you don't have to worry about that problem.
I have a question. I imagine that there is some sort of beautiful statue or sightseeing sort of thing that I've probably seen before, and I would like to take my daughter there so she might see it.
Ooh, yes they are, but most of those are off the main thoroughfare, so that's a very good thing. There's a couple statues, intricate carvings off the main way, but you remember one. It's distinctive because there's a small cafe, and there's a little cul-de-sac with a small cafe off the side of it. A very famous jeweler is there as well. She's maybe gnomish, maybe dwarvish, but nobody really knows, and she wears a lot of her own work. She definitely falls into the if you have to ask, you can't afford it category.
Yes. Well, I would like to take my daughter down, since my wife will be busy for quite some time, to this place so I want to show her the sights of Mahakam. So it's a bit of I want to take a promenade and show her all the things that might delight and astound and fill with wonder a small 3-year-old.
Yes, so this definitely works because you can show her off all the shinies and then have a sit down and have something to eat and drink.
Yes, that was my thought. And while I'm here, I figured I might to go on the way out. My plan is to get something, some sort of pastry or some such for my wife that she might also enjoy. But first, take a bit of a promenade and then sit at the cafe for a bit.
That works. So as you're making your promenade and you kind of are working around, finding off all of these side streets, we're going to jump back to our dear Countess, as Zerny has brought you into this little off a couple small hideaways, and you can see this beautiful arch carved into this to delineate this like entrance to this cul-de-sac. On either side stand these intricate figures that seem amorphous and androgynous in a way that's you stand to one side and it seems female presenting. If you shift your eye line, it's male presenting, or if you it doesn't
craftsmanship.
the
based on
craftsmanship is
angles.
design. There's also, you can see the thread of a vein of gold just kind of intricately woven in such a way that it's accentuating the structure. And Zerny will stride through. To your left, there's a small cafe, and a couple people are sitting at a couple tables. It's really more of a food stand with a bunch of tables in front of it that kind of come out into this
Nice.
courtyard
Yeah,
in
cozy.
front. Cozy.
Yeah.
And then there's a door with only a sign that's the sign is just gemmas, and that's it. There's nothing else on that sign.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a doorway that's open, and you can hear the sounds of a forge coming for it, and Zerny walks right in.
I will follow behind.
And he
3 paces in case anything gets thrown at him. Just, she doesn't know what kind of reception. I mean, it's not going to be bad, but you never know. We've been a lot of places. A lot of things have happened.
Well, this particular cul-de-sac is generally less noisy than the because there's less.
Fair.
But it's still Mahakam, and it's still a forge, and it's probably a lot of noise. So Zerny, as he walks in, picks up a small hammer that's close to the door and bangs it loudly on the side of the wall, more as a delineation to let people know that he's here. And then he puts it down and he goes, "Master Razmi, I brought you a guest."
Oh, no.
Zerny!
Also, I had an idea for the handcuffs. I need to throw it by you.
Is this about the chickens again?
Yes, the chickens. Also werewolves, but more importantly, the werewolves.
Okay, I'm going to have to get some clarification, but sure. And comes up hauling a bottle of whiskey with him.
Oh, Dwarven fire mead?
Nice.
So, who's the guest?
Master Durin Razenzi, may I present her... And he kind of like pauses and like, Her Ladyship Countess Brenna von Velde, Witcher of the Cat School.
I believe the term is excellency. It's a pleasure to meet you, Your Excellency.
Hello, it's nice to meet you as well. I have some letters for you from my husband, actually. Pull out the thick letters with 2 C's.
Yes, there's a small stack, and by small stack I mean about 4 inches of stack, and there are only about 3 letters in this 4-inch stack of parchments. I have a very important question for you, Miss Master Ramsey. Did you know about this wedding? Or were you invited?
I learned after the fact.
Oh, yes, it has been a couple months. It would have gotten out.
Oh
So
no.
you would have heard about the unfortunate passing of the third Countess von Welder, who,
Oh, it's so sad. Oh,
who
we
a
all
mere
cried. Oh.
2 weeks after her passing, the Count Gavril
Yeah.
remarried.
The person who murdered that.
Yeah,
First
but that's a whole other.
That's maybe not common knowledge.
We'll
I
find
don't know. It
out.
was a
if
huge
No.
massacre. I feel like people are gonna talk.
No one, look, only Cadarn saw how fucked up that body was, and my husband.
That's true.
If you think people are not gonna talk about the fact that
I
you
only
killed the third
stabbed
wife,
her like 39 times.
we
Okay.
may not talk about that. But I feel like that's gossip. I feel like that's some hot goss.
She was also a terrible evil witch who was ensorceling the family. So
There is that. So I need both of you to roll me reputation.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh
'cause
no.
I love this.
Background. Okay.
20.
Oh, I rolled lower. 19.
Yes. Yes. But this is a roll to find out. This is a roll for you to. This is the second type of reputation roll. This means, do you know about them?
Oh, he knows about me then. Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
I rolled a 2. 3 the first time, 2 the second time. It's gonna be a 1 next time. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure the next roll
down.
you need to roll won't be important.
No.
So, how much do I know of the new Countess's reputation?
You would have definitely heard about the very short period of time between,
Before the wedding.
well, the death of the third Countess and the marriage to the current fourth Countess. You also would have heard that she had been a witcher stationed at the estate for a number of years. 20.
30 years.
30, yeah, 30.
Yeah. Oh well, you're right. About 20. About 20 years.
20,
Stationed.
yeah.
Stationed.
Closer,
there,
actually, I
20
think you're
years.
almost to 25 now because
Yeah, that sounds right.
the oldest son is
25 years.
Yeah,
Quarter
you were-
century.
yeah, because
fine.
you were there just a couple years before the oldest son, and what's his name? Look, we got a shit ton of NPCs in this game.
We do. My boys.
Lorian is
they
the
are-
younger, Lawrence is the
Yes,
older. Lawrence is
Lawrence.
22. So yeah, so 25 makes sense.
25 years. Yeah. Was a Witcher stationed at the castle for 25 years.
Yeah. And that this is who he married. And that there was
This is who
some
Gavril married.
yeah. And this is also was probably some shock because the death has been reported a couple different ways of the late Countess von Velder. She died. She committed suicide on catching her husband in a in flagrante with Brenna.
I mean, that's been going on for 25 years.
There was the one where Gavril was so offended by by her getting up in arms over his long-standing affair with Brenna that he threw her off a battlement.
It's just saying.
There's the
a lot
one
of
where
gossip.
the son tried to arrange a poisoning for her because he hated the stepmother because they had only been married for 3 years. The biggest one that goes around the most is that Brenna got pissed that she was getting involved with her long-term affair, and in the heat of passion, in front of all of the guests for Florian's wedding,
Yeah.
stabbed her in the grand ballroom.
There is just this pause upon accepting the letters.
I would also like to point out that a couple of the letters are a little bit of blood spatter on
Also
them.
blood splatter, yes.
Yeah.
So there's the
But I
accepting of
am
the
also
letters.
a witcher,
There-
blood
there's-
splatters happen.
Look at the blood splatter. There's then I'll look to the mead, then back to the countess, then back to the mead. I'm gonna need something strong here. Just hand it off to
Zerny
So
will look.
Zerny-
Zerny, like, is this not going well?
No, Zerny is ecstatic. You just handed him a bottle of dwarven fire mead.
And I go and take my correspondence into the office and come back out with the vodka in the red glass.
The vodka in the red glass. Ooh. Is there anything else in this vodka? One should ask.
A little wormwood, because we're going to have to deal with this.
It's fair.
That is indeed a lot of that you'll have to deal with.
So, aside from delivering Gavro's letters, which I will definitely get to here in time, is there anything I can do for you next?
I imagine while he was in the back of the office putting the letters up and getting the new bottle, is there like wares that I can look at along the
There are some pieces.
some
About
samples, you know?
half of them are silver.
Then Brenda's probably looking at those because that's swanky. That's fun.
The specialties of the house, as it were.
Very nice.
For the more affordable fare, there's daggers and hand axes, a few throwing axes. And then there's a number of silvered stilettos.
Nice.
And then behind a heavily locked case, there is a sword. It has a blue tinge to it.
Ooh. Brenna's probably looking at that then, because Brenna likes weapons, things that are good at killing people.
Also, in a smaller case that is also locked is a series of different sized knuckles.
Oh, fun. Fun.
Zerny, you handed him the bottle of fire mead, is just
Yeah.
uncorking the bottle and offers it to Brenna.
You would enjoy it more than I will. Thank you, though.
I want it duly
Like,
I
it's not gonna do any good for Brenna.
would like
Yeah.
it duly noted that I offered first, though. And then he
It is
begins.
appreciated. And then when he, upon Rosmi's return, we'll go, your work is excellent. I see you do a lot with silver.
Yes, everyone needs to have a specialty, and mine is working with, unfortunately, the more exotic materials. So I don't get a lot of work, but what I do, I get paid.
I see. Well, I'm sure my husband has business, and those letters for you, they seemed rather beefy. But if you wouldn't mind, and I will see, silver sword is up here, so pull out the silver sword. Is there anything you could do to improve this, I wonder?
It's a little nicked up.
It's a cat school silver sword.
Been a bit rough on you, haven't he actually like addresses the sword
Mm-hmm.
as he finds the point of balance.
Nicked up,
Well, we can-
but sharp. You might cause bleeding.
I think we could do a few things. It depends on how much of this particular aesthetic you want. If you're just looking for sheer killing power, we can definitely do that.
Considering my line of work, that is generally the most preferred.
Zerny
Okay.
will pull the bottle and goes, "She murders people real well."
All right. Well, given what this is obviously honed for, I'm probably going to put a few serrations along the blade, ripping and tearing. Make it so that whatever it is that you do manage to cut is going to bleed profusely.
She also
very good.
likes giving people septic shock.
That's just a side effect.
But you keep targeting for it.
I don't usually deal in much in the way of alchemy. That is, there are plenty of others. But we can definitely see about rehoning the edge, Patching places where the silver has definitely chipped, and then adding the solutions.
That would be
Also,
wonderful.
this feels a little heavy. I might be able to put in an additional fuller, make it a little more nimble in the hand.
I think I'm going to like working with you very much on this project.
It'll take me a couple of days, but shouldn't take too long.
That is fine. I'm not in any great rush at the moment.
Anything else that you need for your killing?
Notice his speciality is steel, silver. Goes pulls up the steel sword anyways, which is also been used a lot.
Yeah, that ablation is in effect.
You are a workhorse. Oh, poor baby.
Things have been hectic, I think is a better word than busy.
That is going to take some doing. We can show you some love. Get things right. Oh God. I'm unwrapping. Okay. Yeah. And the guard's loose, for fuck's sake. All right. We're going to be a chop.
Just kind of nods like, yeah. Little looking off into the middle distance. Yeah.
Now, since you're already having the two swords worked on, would you like something smaller?
Smaller isn't bad. I do have some proficiency with small blades. I saw you had some silver stilettos.
Yes. Something for when things get very close, or if you just are doing your excellency's duties and can't necessarily carry these giant
Yes.
slings.
Thinks back to the last time she used a dagger, which was just fucking yeet. Let's suppress dagger usage most of the time. Yes, that would be probably wise to purchase some of that as well. Just looking it over, testing, the balance. She knows her way around swords and weapons. That is very evident with how she handles them.
Preferring something more in a blade, small. Now, just a quick question. Are you more about the thrust or the cut?
Always a cut.
Then I should probably show you something a little more.
I tend to use a very fast-moving attack style.
If the cut is what you use, there is very few things that are better than this. And produces a Dwarven cleaver. Now, the standard handle is for two-handed use, but you will notice a number of boots amongst the kin that have just a little bit of wood sticking out of them, as we use them one-handed down here.
Interesting. You'd love to see it in action. Just pondering out loud, like, it's so interesting seeing people's fighting styles.
It's meant for being able to look at someone who is in armor and go, that's funny. Unless you're wearing something that's from here, it's going to cut through.
And you would notice that she doesn't wear any armor on her body. She's very lightweight. No sleeves. Sleeves are for suckers and people that aren't the cat school. Cat school boycotts sleeves. I don't know why. It's just in all the art. It's a thing. But she does have a dwarven cloak. That it does seem to be her main form of armor.
Yeah.
Which also you can Duran, roll me an awareness and you'll get a +2 on this.
Okay. $17.
With a 17, you do recognize that the cloak has been touched up recently, repaired. Also,
Needed it badly.
yeah, it needed it badly because the ablation is a thing, y'all. And you can also recognize the work as being that of, where is he? Leonard
Oh, oh.
Chive.
Yes, I had his name now.
From a distinguished individual from Dwarven individual from Beauclair.
I see you've been to Beauclair recently.
Just had to pass through on my way up here.
Good work.
And then it's just gonna like play with the dwarven cleaver. Oh yes, I think I will need one of these.
Two hand or one hand?
Hmm. One-handed would be ideal.
Shorten the hand. Actually, just give me a quick second. Comes back with a series of sets of gloves. Just try one that you think fits. Excellent. Okay. When it comes to your own swords, I don't need to worry about it, but for a new piece, it's good to have a reference.
Brenna's got a calm exterior, but if it's anyone who knows Brenna well, she's got the quiet giddiness. Definitely moving a little bit more than she normally would due to excitement, not just complete deadpan. It's just like, oh, interesting. Just moving around a little bit more. Excited.
Mm-hmm. At the pause in the conversation, Zerny, who is by this point a good quarter of the way through the fire
Through the
mead-
bottle.
Yeah, through the bottle. He isn't chugging it. He's
Drinking with a quickness.
he's just drinking, but not
He's
slowing.
bored sipping.
Yeah, he's sipping. Yeah, exactly.
He's like, because like there's sipping and then there's bored sipping, like when
Yeah.
you're like waiting for people, and so you're sipping a lot more often. Yeah.
Exactly. He pulls away and he looks up and he goes, "You know what would also be good for her? Can you see that silver sword she's got there? How about that we add she draws one hand and draws a cross, so perhaps a very nice poniard on the end of that."
It's going to throw off the balance.
Maybe. Also, she needs another pair of manacles. And he takes another sip.
What is with the manacles and you, Zerny? I don't want to know, but I just...
And Brenna shakes her head like, no, you don't want to know what he with the manacles.
Look, I've got another whole commission for these giant whole-ass caltrops. It's a thing now.
Another one?
Yes, they wanted 30 more.
Oh,
Okay.
good heavens.
Apparently, they convinced the Baron for Kagan that...
Huh.
Look, and they're doing good. It's good work.
With on you, but Your Excellency, do you need manacles?
We got some new ones for Arzo for this coming full new moon cycle.
Mhm.
So I don't think we do need any because we got some before we left. So she was like, no, I'm all right, thank you.
Yeah, that's my area of expertise. I make things that are meant to be admired and to be used to draw blood.
That is my area of expertise as well.
We're going to pull away from this negotiation for a moment as Math, You are
Yes.
you've shown your daughter like this small little bridge with the water that moves through it, and it's actually designed so that it's like crystal in the center, so you can kind of stand in the middle of the bridge and look down on the water. She was absolutely fascinated with it. And then you've come to this archway with these very intricately designed statuary that you recall in the cafe, the jeweler. Can I ask you to roll me an awareness, please?
Of course. I wouldn't mind at all.
And you know, I have to grab a thing.
I rolled the same as I did last time, an 18.
An 18, you say? Well, that's very good. I had to get
Yes.
the new book, by the way. This, again, hashtag not sponsored, is the latest book. This is the Tome of Chaos. And I had to get it because druids are now their own class and not just regular
Yes.
mages in the Tome of Chaos. Again, hashtag not sponsored.
But it is true they are.
But they
There's
are.
a
And what that
quite a bit of
means...
information about them.
But it does tell me, which... And I don't want to ask the wrong ask for the wrong role, because, you know... Okay. So you don't have that skill anymore. Good to know.
I don't. Whatever that is, I don't have it.
No, you
Why
don't.
would I even need it?
I'm sure you wouldn't. I'm sure you wouldn't at all. It wouldn't be necessary for you in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
But with an 18, you're showing your daughter the sights. You can hear some conversation coming, and a lack of metalwork coming from the forge to your, just at the far end of this cul-de-sac. You can hear a couple conversations occurring in the cafe to your left. And you hear nothing from the jeweler that you know is behind the door to the right. It's closed. Gemma's.
Oh, the gemmas. The if you have to ask, you cannot afford to buy it.
Yes. Also, if you don't know where she is, you're not with her time.
Yes, yes. I've always liked those sort of advertisements that don't tell you where in the entire universe a thing is, because you would only know it if you already know it, in which case, why are they even advertising? Anyway, does she have, does Gemma's have a glass with...
No, there's only a door, a thick kind of wooden door that's slightly above height, normal height for a dwarf, so a slightly larger than normal dwarf door, but small for a humanoid. I mean, like, if you wanted to picture like a 5-foot tall door,
Yes, yes.
maybe just under 6 foot. So instead of, the standard 8 to 10, 8 to 9, excuse me.
Is there normally, when I've been through here before, has there normally been activity? Do I find this somewhat odd?
You would find it perhaps a tad odd. Usually there's some level of noise coming from behind, basically as you're like entering, and it's
Yes.
for Mahakam middle of the day.
And it is a trading day. We have caravans coming in. A bit odd.
And usually if she's not in and for a caravan day, there'd be a sign on the door. But there isn't anybody coming in or out, and usually there's at least one person who's coming for picking up a commission or dropping off. Or
Strange. Well, I have been eyeing a trinket for my wife, which I cannot afford at the moment. As a traveling druid, you don't always have money at this point in your life, but I have been eyeing something for her for a while. I might as well just pop in and say hello. Come on. I say this to Ainfra, although I don't actually need to, she doesn't have to come along, but she's on my shoulders. But it's as you do. And I will walk over there and I'll just sort of tap on the door. Mistress Gemma?
no answer.
I'll knock a little bit harder. Mistress Gemma?
No answer.
I'm just going to try the door. It's probably locked, and then everything will be resolved. Because if it's locked, then it's locked, and I know I don't have to deal with this at all. But I'll just try, just in case.
The door is not locked.
Oh. Well, bother. I'll open the door a bit, not step inside, and I'll go, Mistress Gemma. I'm quite loud, I would say, so that I could be heard to the back of that shop. Certainly next door, I would imagine as well.
So that leads to my next question. May I have an awareness roll from the Countess and Durin? Please. Well, Durin, you work a forge, and even when you're not working a forge, there's a lot of sound, so you're a little deaf.
And this is an elder speech, I would say, as well, not in Dwarven, because I actually don't speak Dwarven.
I recognize a little.
Yeah, you hear a sound and a little bit of yelling coming from the hallway, but again, it's indistinct. There's a lot of stonework between you and the outside.
Elder speech.
Yes.
My native tongue.
And you hear somebody calling for a Mistress Gemma.
Just do the lean and look.
There's a very
they don't sound in distress, so
They sound
I don't need to
mildly-
walk over there.
They sound mildly confuzzled.
Brenda's that way a lot, so understandable.
Yes, and you see a personage standing at a door with a small child on their shoulder.
And
And
a
a very-
large staff.
Large staff and feathered cloak.
Capelet, more
Capelet.
like, but one has to have movability.
Mhm.
And this person is not going into the shop, but is sort of hollering in. And that might be odd, right? Because if you have an appointment, you would just sort of walk in, but they're clearly staying outside of the shop and hollering in. Yes.
I has a very important question. Could you roll me? Well, no. What was your awareness? An 18. We'll keep that 18
Yes.
going.
I don't want my daughter to see anything untoward. That's why I'm not going inside.
Very smart. It's a very smart decision because you can smell from the doorway blood. That very thick metallic scent taste.
I know blood very well, actually. I'm well versed in blood of all sorts. And like you,
I have a question
Me
for that. I
too.
have a
Oh
question
my
for that
gosh.
comment. For that comment, it's a very important question.
Yes.
Is it well versed in making other people bleed, or yourself, or animal blood? The audience at home wants to know.
Really, this is quite an interesting question. Certainly, I know animal blood quite well, but very often I bleed people. Not in terms of, sort of a combat situation, but, I have various skills and I am sort of a mystical person. And very often I just bleed people. Usually it's all very voluntary. But if you're not interested in being bled by me, then you don't get to have any of my blessings, of course. And I don't have to bless people who are not interested. But many people are quite interested in being stabbed by me and cut by me in various ways.
See, that's where we differ.
Usually
No, but I
they
think the two of you
ask-
would get along real well. They're complementary desires here.
Yes, they usually ask. So I'm quite well versed in fresh blood. You can find about a lot of things about someone's future from their blood as it courses from cuts that you've put upon them. Stare at it. I think so. I'm going to just step, and I imagine, Brenna, you can see this person just sort of lean very briefly sort of forward, make a sort of like step back, and then just take his daughter off of his shoulders and sort of hold her and go, dearest, you know what? We should find your mother. Yes. And I'm going to look about to see if there are any sort of security. I know that this is a sort of a secure sort of a place. Yes, I'm going to. There's that sort of, that look that a person gets. I mean, I don't know if Brenna, as a trained witcher, has seen this sort of thing before. When someone's like, "Oh, that's a problem," should probably find.
That means usually someone's looking for Brenna in Brenna's experience. Like,
to look for security. It's that, it's that look. It's that, when you see somebody who has that look, like, oh, where's someone, there's the look when you're trying to find someone who, is in
Security! Security!
Yes,
I need you here!
Yes, it's that one. And like, so, and he's holding his daughter so that her face is not towards the shop, but the other direction. So now he's holding it this way, and he's looking for security. And there's a little bit of an urgency in his demeanor, which I know that you're not good at doing perception, but this is one of those things I'm sure you've seen before.
This is the look people have on their faces before asking her to do things. It's the I am a weak peasant person, feeble human, help me. Typically look. Yes. That's Brenna's interpretation of that look. That's not what that means, but she doesn't quite realize it's fine. I think she's just gonna give out a long, slow sigh, having been in the city less than a few hours. There's something strange happening across the street. Would you mind if I be right back?
Would you like assistance?
If you wish, you know more about this area than I do.
I'm going to stay
here. If a witcher
here.
is suspicious of something, it usually means that help is needed. And she grabs his own cloak. And I'm grabbing the flail. Because this is a witcher involved.
Yes. Since we haven't started work on my swords yet, I'll just kind of free sheath them.
They'll be reliable for now.
Yes.
However, if you need something extra, I have this on hand. And just hands you his cleaver. Which
Nice.
That's nice.
Brenna's she's gonna give a very appreciative look at this blade, like, ooh, that's sexy. And then just kind of put it on the side for now, just tuck it in, and then
that one's not silver, it's just very sharp.
That's all. Like, Brenna has appreciation for sharp objects. Can it do harm? Oh, lovely. And then we'll walk across the street to the distressed individual.
Well,
Something's wrong? Is there a dead body or something?
You speak Elder speech. That's useful. I'm looking for security.
Why?
And he gives a glance to his daughter. There's a bit. Who are you?
I am.
You're not security.
No, I'm a witcher.
Well, pleased to meet you. Are you?
Brenna of this cat school.
Oh, look, we need to roll reputation again.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
It's gonna be one of those days.
What do you know about our witcher? Okay. Right, let me get that tab open. There we go. Reputation and rolling. Now I rolled well.
That means I know her, I assume.
You would know of her, yeah.
Yeah.
You know of.
She does not know me at all.
I thought that was gonna be my next roll.
Yeah, you don't know anything about this person that's standing in front of you, but
Why would I care?
Yeah, because you don't.
Absolutely, I understand that feeling.
But Math, you are aware when she introduces herself, Brenna of the cat school. You've heard of her. She has a reputation with Bruxa and murder and fire and a lot of. She's very good at killing bad things.
Oh, are you under contract here in Mahakam?
Not at the moment.
Ah, I see. Hmm.
But if there was something suspicious in there, I could take a cursory look, make sure it's not a terrible monster waiting to eat everyone in this town, and
You know, I have a
then report
daughter
to the
here,
guard.
right in front of you. Yes?
Hello. Just look down at her.
Oh,
Ainfra, this is, if I remember correctly, the Countess von Wedler, Brenna, who is a witcher of the Cat School. Um, this is my daughter, Ainfra. And I'm like, I keep I keep my hand around my daughter's shoulder because nobody knows what's up with witchers. Really. And I see this dwarf coming and I nod and I sort of I turn to him and say, do you speak Elder speech?
very little.
All right. So then he's going to sort of speak to the Witcher, assuming that they can communicate. Well, hmm. Yes. Pardon me. I'm so terribly rude. It's just that there's a bit of an urgency happening inside of that
It would be
shop.
great if you could tell me about it.
Yes. Have you ever, you know what it's like after a sacrifice, the smell?
I've been down to his daughter's level. We're going to put on earmuffs, and I put my hands over his. Please, just get to the point.
There's fresh blood inside of Gemma's shop.
All right. You should teach your children about earmuffs. It's very helpful.
I didn't. Thank you. I hadn't thought about the earmuffs.
I imagine that was a thing, and the Midlers say what the boys grow up. Boys earmuffs, and they just put their hands over their heads.
That's good. Could you translate to your dwarven friend here?
I'll
what I
just look
said?
over and then in Dwarven. Did you catch that?
Something, blood, sacrifice. Sounds bad.
Lots of beating around the bush. Fresh blood inside. Smell of it, at least. Should we investigate?
She finally pissed off somebody.
We're going to investigate. I just put me in the door to this guy and who talks a lot in a roundabout way.
And I am going to take my daughter back to my wife, and
Probably
then I'm going to come
advisable.
back here.
All right.
And Math is going to sort of, pick his daughter back up and travel back to where the caravan is so he can take Ainfra out of the space where blood might be. And he's going to go back to see what's going on because somebody who speaks his language, there's a lot of people here don't speak Elder speech, so it's nice to
Very good elder speech.
Yes,
As
it's
Math walks away, Dorian is just going to holler, Zarni, get the guard.
all right. I'll get the guard. Do you need a pair of manacles? I have them with me.
No!
And that's where we're going to go to break for tonight. So stretch, refresh yourselves, bio, do all of those good things, and then we'll be back in about 8 minutes. Everybody, we'll see what's going on behind that behind that not locked door. Who knows? But we'll be back shortly, everybody, and we'll see you in a few. Sorry. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are back to the fun times for me with our second half of our season premiere for Witcher Roads Home. There's a door. We're gonna say, did you want to investigate what's behind this door before Math gets back?
Or go for the box, right? Because it's the
Yeah, we investigate before Math gets back, because this could be someone bleeding out, you know, or it could be monster, you know, who knows? Who knows? Or assassins. We don't really know. So,
Zerny has
might
gone.
be of the essence, is what.
Zerny has definitely gone to find the guard. So was there anything? He's gone. So it's you and your friendly Dwarven personage.
Yes.
I need this book because this book will be important. Because I still... New book, haven't learned all of the details yet. I will eventually get all of the class details because I love me some Witcher, but don't know them all yet. So,
Yeah, same.
what
Definitely stand in the open door. He said he smelled blood, so I want to see.
my
my
Witcher
Witcher
senses,
senses,
you don't even need a roll. You can smell fresh blood on the inside.
is there anything else?
You'd have to roll
sus
for
that I
that.
smell. Yeah, that's what my question is. So I smell the blood, yes, but what else do I smell? Oh God, nothing.
Fumble by a 13? You don't remember any? You don't smell nothing.
Nothing.
Sorry.
That's wow.
The smell of the blood is overwhelming.
Is overwhelming. Yeah,
It's a lot of blood.
that doesn't bode well for whoever has this shop, Gemma. I guess. We'll walk quietly in. So I'd like to stealth.
I need you to roll me that
sometimes
stealth then.
It's good for you to know what's there before they know you're there. Do I spend luck? I'll spend 1 point of luck.
1
Just
point
'cause
of
I
luck.
wanna be-
Alright.
I own luck. 23, much better.
With your stealth is 23, good to know. So you are stealthing as you move in.
Yep, moving quietly. See it, looking for anything. Well, A, blood. B, anything that looks out of place.
You slide
Full Witcher
the door.
sweep.
Yeah,
Floor,
forward.
ceiling. The places people might not normally look. Like guards walking looking for something. You gotta check the ceilings. Horror trope number 1.
Horror
Check
trope
your
number
ceilings.
Also, the other horror trope is like, don't look under the bed or in the closet. Just leave.
Oh, I look under all the beds everywhere in all the games. All the good stuff's under the bed.
Also, horror trope number most important rule of all: don't have sex.
No. Especially when all of your friends have been murdered. Like, it's not the time. Not the time.
In general,
if
just
that's the
don't have
last
sex. You can smell. When you push the door open, it creaks just a touch. Not more because you're actually slowing the movement of the door rather than if it was actually creaking because there was.
Yeah.
You open the door. There's a beautiful array inside. Thick, gorgeous, heavy woods, beautiful crystal glass cases. You can see the shine
Blood
of
all over them. No. What?
We're getting there. You see the shine of the gold and silver, and something that looks very interesting to your eye off to one of the corners. It's not silver, but it's another type of metal that shines a little awkwardly. You'd have to go
Does
and
it
see
remind me
that.
of Kadarn's hairpin? Or
Possibly.
my brooch? Okay.
Yeah, that might be. It reminds you a little bit of that. You'd have to do more.
Yeah.
You
Now's
see
not the moment.
Now's not the moment. But the pieces, but even without, like your general understanding, but like your experience of the stuff that perhaps Gavril has given you throughout time, and the pieces that your brother Yanto gave you, the work in here is top notch. Really, really good. And then there's the massive pool of blood, like 5 feet from the door, and the blood trail that kind of looks like something has been pulled backwards into.
Dragged back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I gotta follow that.
Durin, what are you doing?
Brennan probably
Like-
hold up a finger before she goes in, like wait a minute to let her stealth in first. And she's moving as quiet as a cat.
Letting
Huh?
the Witcher do the thing, and I'm standing in the door. Can probably smell the place now.
Oh yeah, if you're standing in the
And-
door, you can smell the blood. That's not a.
Yeah. In which case, it's the wrapping hands around the flail and just. This isn't my first rodeo. This isn't the first Witcher I've worked with. I'm going to stay quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Brennan appreciates this.
It's when you hear something, then you run.
Yeah.
When you hear
Yes.
something, then you run. But you're paying attention to all of this. You're moving through slowly. As you do. This leads to my next question. Are you also stealthing, Durin?
Oh, if I need to move, I will be quiet. Yes, please.
But you're intending to not move. I'm just trying to make sure I
I am
understand.
Standing in the door right now.
I am
Yeah.
standing in the doorway. The intent is, again, this isn't my first Witcher.
Don't get in the
it's-
witch away.
Don't get in the way until you hear something. Then it's run towards because they have triggered whatever it is.
Yes. Valid. It's fair.
And usually they need to get their asses pulled away from the thing that they just triggered.
I mean, that's not inherently wrong. You're not inherently wrong. I mean, that's true. So you move your way back. And as you make your way further back into the room, beyond the general display case, there's a gilded door that has a small window in it that all of this, by the way, is relatively short. The entire ceiling is only 6.5 feet, right? So you don't have a problem. Durin definitely doesn't have a problem. Math, would you have a problem as you come back?
Well, I can bend a little bit. It's not that bad. Math is sort of tall and lanky. He's. You just stoop. That's all.
Yes, stooping.
Yeah.
So, Brenna,
Yes.
as you push that second door open, into the back room, is a long wall. Along the western wall is an entire bench full of metals and gems, and all very organized. There's a couple pieces that are on the middle of what looks like a ring mold and set, so you can actually work being done. And you see the first body part.
Body part. Wonderful.
The lower half of a leg.
Okay. Is it a clean slice? Was it ripped off?
Oh,
Was
no.
it torn? Because there's so many ways to
Bitten
dismember a
off.
body.
You can roll me a
Yes.
Witcher training.
I would love
Chipmunk.
to.
Kind of a thing, you know?
Mhm.
Oh, oh.
21.
So it looks like it was ripped off and then gnawed on a little bit.
Oh, just a little bit though.
Just, like a taste and then
And then drag the rest.
yeah.
Okay.
It
Interesting.
also doesn't look dwarven or gnomish scale.
Oh, so it looks a humanoid, like human or elf maybe?
Yeah, just in height. I mean, leg
It
length.
is a lower leg. It's hard to you can tell a dwarf
Femur.
leg
Yeah.
from a
Like
a
the
human
tibia,
leg.
a tibia.
The
and
height difference.
yeah,
yes.
you can see the difference there. Yes, but there's also a lot of blood still here.
Yes, humans do tend to bleed a lot. These are facts that Brenna is very familiar with. And I can't tell what did this yet. Just that it was torn and then nibbled on a little bit.
It definitely gives the impression of perhaps you might lean towards the general group of a necrophage.
Oh.
You'd need more to know which.
Are there any footprints in the blood?
You could roll me an awareness, or roll me an awareness because now you're actively looking for other signs to determine.
Yes. Trying to figure out what it is. 21. Much better.
There are a few signs
Okay.
of more than one.
Oh,
Oh.
more than one.
Yep.
Okay. Maybe the leg was a tug of war. I don't,
There
it's
was
possible.
a couple, one or two. You get the because there are a couple. You see footprints in the pool of blood, but then more pool
Yes.
of blood. So, trail of blood. It's not a pool anymore. It's more of a trail.
More of a trail. Yes. All right.
And
all right.
you can see you're getting the impression about you're counting and trying to figure out, and the mess is making it a little bit of a mess in general.
Yes.
So
makes
you
sense.
you'd
makes
think about
sense.
3.
3. Okay. Mm-hmm. 3 types of necrophages.
Well, it was 3 of one type of necrophage.
Okay, yes, 3 of one type of necrophage. So it's probably rot fiend, perhaps. The ceiling height means it's not one of the big boys, probably. So that probably would have been seen in town at some point, maybe.
Yes,
it's probably one of the smaller necrophages.
Yes, if you had the ceiling height would rule, the general size of this space would rule out something like a bulvor, or you're also too far from water. That could kind of rule out drowners.
Yes, could be foglets, but
Could be
there's not a bunch of fog
foglets.
in here.
Or
Rot fiends.
rot fiends, foglets,
Something along those lines. Okay,
something along
okay.
those lines.
Yes. Yes. All right. In that case, Brenna is going to. Do I know if I need to use silver or steel for necrophages?
Silver will work with silver. I did double check these in the rules from now on. All of the monsters are vulnerable to silver.
Okay.
But
Silver it is.
silver damage gets applied after it goes.
Yeah.
Silver damage only works if it goes through. So it's an additional damage.
Okay. All right. Silver sword it is. Yep. And then proceeding with quiet caution, and I will leave that door open behind me in case I need to make a hasty retreat or the guard come in or whatever. So
Durin, you can see as the door is opened the remains of a leg.
I'm less disturbed by that.
it
I'm
gets
more
poked a little bit.
I'm
examined.
more interested in when she draws the silver sword. And when that happens, it's as
You go back
the
across the
mace
street, grab the silver.
no. The mace gets put away.
Mm-hmm.
and a pair of silver brass knuckles gets put on.
Nice.
Or when you wish to cast fist aggressively.
Look, sometimes you just gotta cast fist, you know?
Mhm.
Sometimes you gotta cast fist. Yeah. And then we'll keep looking in around this area, following the blood trail. Staying quiet.
So
Looking for between 1 and 3 creaturages.
So as you are staying quiet and moving through this space, you begin to notice that the there's a very large hole in the side wall and debris of this like been into the back of
Like
this space.
into the mountain?
Yes.
Not into like a back alley or
No.
it's a hole straight into the mount. Okay. Well, after making sure there are no necrophages in the immediate vicinity and peeking down the hole.
Oh, peeking down the hole, you
Imagine
me
it's
an
a long
awareness.
tunnel.
It is. A large number of stalactites and a few stalagmites interrupt.
17.
With 17, you can see it's much dimmer down there. You can see a hand.
Oh,
You also
not one
see
waving.
just kind of laying there, again,
Mhm, mhm.
nibbled on. You can definitely
Yes.
see that the blood trail kind of continues, and it's, now that you're thinking about it, the amount of blood is excessive.
More than one person, I'm going to
Yes.
assume.
Yeah. Mhm.
Probably, hopefully bled out, both of them by this point. Or more of them. There could be 3. There was 3 necrophages. That's one apiece. But seeing that there's no immediate threat inside of the rooms,
No, there's no immediate threat.
gonna stand up. You gotta crouch when you're stealthing. That's how that works. You press C and you
Yeah, yeah.
go into stealth mode.
Unless, of
press
course,
C
you're
again,
playing
stand up.
Assassin's Creed, and then you're just calmly walking through a crowd.
Stabbing people.
Yes. Unless you're in the tall grasses, and then it's a different thing. And I'll calmly walk back to Razmi. Found a leg and a hand.
I imagine this is probably what I'm walking back in.
Yes,
Oh,
I think
probably.
I want you to walk back in right on, I found a leg and a hand.
Found a leg
Oh.
and a hand.
Is this happening in Dwarven? In which case, I don't know what she's saying.
Oh,
I
probably yes,
yeah,
because I'm talking to Razmi.
yeah. I walk up.
And then I'll just look and I'll just like one moment I'll translate for you. I'm keeping my conversation. Leg in a hand, excessive amount of blood between 1 and 3 people taken. My bet is necrophages. A smaller, more nimble variety. There's a hole, a tunnel going into the mountain. Busted up. They bust through a wall and took people. Is what it sounds like. What it looks like, rather.
And he looks at you with like sort of like a sad resignedness. So an infestation.
It would not surprise me. Probably a whole nest down there.
I'll see about contacting the council to hire you.
Yeah, she looks back and she's like, "Yeah, I've done enough philanthropic work, Witcher work over the past couple of months." Just the look of like, yeah, they're gonna have to pick me for that one. Like, you just see the look of.
It's just the infestation. You hire a witcher, and the council's going to need to do that because no.
Yeah, I've done enough charity work recently that yes, yeah, hiring would be good.
Oh,
This is not my problem right now. It's just like hands her back your cleaver. Thank you.
I'll go and see about getting an audience with one of the elders.
Probably going to be my
Where
problem
are you
soon, but not
staying?
right now. I'll tell them the name of the inn.
All right, I'll make certain that a messenger gets sent. Have a good day, Your Excellency.
Yes,
Sorry.
and then I will turn in, and then in elder speech go, I found a hand and a leg. Well, a leg and then a hand. Enough blood for like 2 to 3 bodies that were taken by necrophages of some sort into the mountains. They broke through a wall in the room back there. It's a tunnel, probably a nest infestation.
I see. Where did the craftsman go?
I'm assuming taken by necrophages.
Pointing to actually Durin, because Durin walked away, yes?
Oh, he's
Yeah.
going to inform the High Council that there's probably a infestation and they will probably want to hire me.
Oh. Do you mind if I go in and look?
Sure. I've already seen the scene. Like, I don't care about contamination now. I've seen what's there. Like,
No.
I know what's up. And I'll follow in and I want to go look at that weird specific shiny. I'm not like going straight towards it. I'm more like, you know, looking around, make sure I didn't miss any other limbs. And then nonchalantly gonna look at it. While he's looking at the leg, probably.
I'm gonna go and give a look around, you know, see what I can see. She told me some stuff, and I was like, well, let me see what I can find out. Let me see what I can note. And I think, you know, like I walk in, I kind of like sniff at some things to see, right, and sort of check out the place until I go into the scene of the slaughter.
Yeah, it kind of starts 5 feet inside the door.
I make sure not to step in any of the blood. And I sort of move my way towards the back, and I'm going to sort of look at pieces, sort of poke my head down the hole, see what I can see there. So we give it a good once over to see what I can note.
So you just want general examination?
I'm going to do a general examination first, and then I would like to roll monster lore.
Okay, well, you can
As
go
well.
ahead and roll awareness first, and then
Yeah.
monster lore.
Yeah. Awareness first. 19.
You know, if you were playing a different character, you would have won, but you're not playing that character, so you don't get
That's
that
true.
count.
I'm also not competing with a Witcher. Well, I don't know
That
why
is
I
true.
would.
Yeah.
That's true. That counter's not changing anymore.
True.
I think I won.
You did.
Yeah. I mean,
That's all I
Yalter
care
fails at most of his rolls. Of course you won.
Oh,
Yes.
bless him.
I know. So yeah, I'm gonna give a like a good sort of looking over. I think like you know like I'm careful not to like contaminate anything, but I get down low and I sniff things and look at things to see what I might see.
You see again everything that I explained to Lindy. The blood trail begins 5 feet inside the door. There's a large pool, and then the trail goes out this hole in the wall, and you can tell that the rocks have busted in. So the rocks, they came from the outside in.
Yeah.
And with that, you would also see that, again, the leg, it doesn't take a lot to...
It's not Gemma's.
It's not Gemma's. It's too big. You also...
Hand might be. I didn't go
Thank
in
you for
that
those
tunnel, though.
blessings. Well, I'm gonna check the hand.
The hand is also too large for a dwarf. It's also not calloused in the right way.
Oh. I'm gonna
There are
sort of
no calluses on this hand.
compare the hand to the leg to see if I thought it could be the same person.
Skin
Color
tone is
match?
different.
Yeah.
Skin
Oh.
color is different.
Yeah.
The hand is very, very dark. Very
Oh.
dark skinned.
Oh.
And no calluses on the hand.
Human-sized?
Yes. Human or, something that is not dwarven or... Let's put it this way. You can automatically
Not a
rule out
dwarf, gnome, or
dwarves,
half-
Dwarves,
gnomes,
halflings,
wings,
gnomes, werebubs.
or Varan. All of those are
Yeah.
ruled out.
It's a human or an elf. It's
Is a human or an elf? Yeah. Everything else is ruled out. There is also no jewelry on the hand. Nothing. It's well manicured, but there's no color. So there's no.
Not a rich person's hand, probably.
Oh well, there are no calluses on this person's hand.
Oh, perhaps a customer. Yes. This leg.
Also human-sized. Also not Ron or Werebub.
I suppose I was asking how expensive the shoes were.
They're very well maintained, very fancy leathers, and there's silver tips.
Oh, I see. Oh, maybe perhaps another customer, actually, which leaves the question. And I'm just saying this out loud. Perhaps another customer. So I don't even know if the witch is paying attention or not, and I don't really care. So probably.
I'm doing something else. Don't worry about it.
I don't care. 2 customers, perhaps. I don't. But where exactly is Gemma? May I make that monster lore?
You may make a monster lore.
It's actually, I'll be using Lore Keeper for this.
What is that? Hold on, please. I need to double check.
With Lore Keeper, I can roll Lore Keeper instead of Wilderness Survival, Monster Lore, Education, or Human Perception.
Okay, so it's your know things skill.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for. Where is your know thing? There was a hold on, that changed. There was a know things skill. It's been very and when things got changed, so.
Yes, and it is my skill for knowing things, specifically Wilderness Survival, Monster Lore, Education, or Human Perception. 22.
22.
Yes.
You're pretty darn sure, based on the footprints that you see in this blood trail, that it is necrophages,
Yes.
based on the nibbling,
Yes.
and the positioning of the toe phalanges. Phalanges is the more technical term. I'm not sure if they're
Yes.
toes or not.
The metatarsals.
The metatarsals.
Yes, yes.
Rule out a rot fiend.
I'm not a rot fiend. I'll just sort of, milady, it's probably not a rot fiend, I'd say, but if you notice the spread of the metatarsals, I'd say it's not a rot fiend. But necrophage, like you said, yes, I can confirm.
Probably a ghoul or a foglet. Maybe a hag, but probably not a hag.
You would also, again, more than one.
Yeah,
It's
hags.
more than one. And I sort of come back out just holding this severed hand. Do you need this?
No.
No. Then I just drop it.
I think just the corner of her mouth raises ever so slightly. That's funny to her.
This is the moment when a couple people at the cafe have kind of noticed what's going
but
on.
while he was doing that investigating,
Yeah.
was I able to
Get to your because he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
You don't even have to worry
Yeah.
about walking right over to that piece. Yeah. Take it.
Yep.
It's a
I'll examine it more thoroughly later, but it's that sus metal.
yeah. It's sus metal. It's also a ring banded with chain link banded to a
Oh,
bracelet.
interesting. Yep, okay. Ardzo had a ring that was maybe made out of the same metal, so gonna ask my stepdad to look at it later because he knows jewelry.
And he made some of those pieces.
You're wearing.
Yep. Yeah, that's fun. Yep. Okay. Yeah, and then the hand thing happens, and then when people start to look, Brenna's just be like,
Lady Witch, you have to excuse me. And he gives this deep bow. I've not introduced myself. You are in the presence of Lord Math Valren of Magturga, druid of the great circle of Caird Mikvid.
nice to meet you.
Yes. If I might prevail upon you, I assume the authorities will be here and they'll probably ask many questions, but I don't speak Dwarven. Would you mind doing translations?
Sure.
have any
Was
questions
Brenna
to
was
ask
thinking
me.
about just GTFOing, just being like, "Well, the guards will be here soon. I took a preliminary. Oh, fine. Ah, yes, I can do that."
Thank you. And so he will sort of walk out again, making sure just not to get a whole bunch of blood on him, because who needs that?
Brenna doesn't care. Brenna will step in the blood puddle on her
He's
way
got-
out.
He's got a wife and a kid. He doesn't want to upset them. He's gonna just like tap before he like walks. He's gonna tap his finger in the blood and taste it to see what he can get from that.
It's
Oh, actually, no. He stops and he goes back in, and he's going to look to see if he can. He's going to sort of pull out a small vial, and he's going to start gathering some of that blood. Is what he's going to do, because there's quite a lot of it, and he's going to.
There is a lot of it.
He's going to try to get like maybe 3 vials and take blood samples from different locations, trying to get things as
You
far
could
as
take probably one
possible.
from the hand and the arm.
Yeah,
Because they're different.
Yeah. So he's going to go with like he's going to
Just
sort of like
squeeze it out like
yeah,
lemonade.
just like pick up the foot, squeeze some blood from the hand
look,
into the
it's
vial.
been congealed for a while, y'all. This is nasty as hell. I just want you to
Oh,
know.
Sure.
That's fine.
He doesn't care. And then he's going to go.
Brenda doesn't care either. Brenda's more just like watching curiously. Like,
He's going to go grab some, like, squeeze some of the leg out and get some congealed blood
do we
into
double
the other
vial
one.
for you, or do we just squeeze?
Hi, Pope. Welcome to Witcher.
Oh, and if you aim to be helpful, of course, and he'll just like hold it so you can help squeeze the leg so he can get as much blood as possible.
At this point,
Thumb and finger on either vein, and
At this point, a couple
just
people
get it
that
out.
were like a couple dwarves that were sitting in this cafe are looking at you and
We're
are
inside the shop.
the door is open.
door is open. Just say in Dwarven, necrophages were here taking samples. Witcher business.
Roll persuasion, and you may
I
use
get a
your
plus
bonus.
2. Oh no. Okay. Persuasion.
You might
Plus
want to
2.
use some of that luck from
I'll
chat.
use some of that luck from chat, like 3 of it, if
I
that's
don't
cool.
persuade people.
3's fine.
I'll spend, that's like a plus 5, which will give me a base 8 plus 3. Boom! 13. I rolled a 2.
Nice.
Oh, it's not a 1.
It's not a 1,
No, it's not.
but
It's
that's a pretty good for rolling a 2 for me.
That
That's all-
is,
that's
it is
all I'm gonna
indeed.
say.
a
I'm gonna be
number of
late.
people are looking at you wide-eyed and just like leave a couple coins and leave. Just straight up leave. And then you've got this old curmudgeon-y looking dwarf who's like got a foot up on the chair across from him because he's gonna, you can see it's swollen with gout.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's got the boot off, and he's like,
Yep.
and he kind of picks up his walking stick and knocks on the door on the food stall next to him. He's like, Irma, I need another coffee. This is gonna be fun. I'm not going home yet. They found the body or 2.
Size. Goes, size your samples.
Uh,
Just drops it as well.
Durin, you can hear this particular dwarf. He's the guy. He's the guys who, one of the old dudes who sit here and have coffee every
Yes.
day, and you know
Yes.
they're retired and
Oh,
have a couple
yeah.
Yes.
newspaper.
Uh-huh.
And
Yes.
if you were perhaps living in the United States in the tri-state area of Connecticut, and they were like in a donut shop, they'd be all Greeks, and it would be the Greek newspaper, and it would be
Yeah.
all the time. But you're in Mahakam, so it's an old dwarf, and he's like, Arma! Arma! You can hear him.
Hi, Gloin. Nice to see you.
And when we get out of the shop, he's put his little vials away, and he goes, I hope your dwarven friend who has pulled the council will be back, because I imagine when the authorities come here, he'll have some sort of sway or pull, make things easier. Then we can get out of here as quickly as possible.
They just look at him like, make what easier.
The authorities, neither one of us are dwarves. They might give us trouble.
Just raises an eyebrow. Sure.
I think that's the point where Zerny comes back, and he's got a messenger and 2 guards with him. And he turns to Durin's shop. Durin, did you go back into your shop, or?
It was quick change of clothes,
Mhm.
and then immediately like, no, they need to be informed now. I know it would be polite to wait, but this is the council and there's necrophages. No, they need to know now.
Yeah.
So it was making my way immediately to the council office.
Yeah, and you're of a high enough rank in the city to get added to the calendar without being, you know, bribery or 3 days wait.
Yeah. Brenda would love a 3-day wait because you could probably work on our swords in that time. But, you know,
Again,
fine.
by technicality, as I am reminded by certain people, I am nobility.
You are indeed. You are the last of the House of Ramsme. and therefore technically the elder of House of Razmi. You could be on that council if you wanted.
That face.
Mesmo Gulo has offered to speak for you a few times. Like 6.
There are fates worse than death, and the council is one of them.
Fair.
So you do not see Zerny coming up with these 2 guards and a messenger, and basically Zerny points, is directing the guards. Because again, what people forget is Zerny is actually nobility himself.
He is.
Shock.
Yep.
It makes sense.
Shock
All the orgies
and
makes
appall.
sense. That's a very noble thing to do. I feel like that's
Yeah.
It is. Particularly
is.
youngest
Yeah.
son of nobility. Just
yeah,
throwing
that's a
that
totally
out.
noble thing to do. Like, come on. Yeah.
People forget it, but Zerny is the youngest son of a noble house. He also baby. It's fine. So he directs the 2 guards like, you 2 stand and don't let anybody in, and he walks over with the messenger to you, Brenna, and goes, so good news, bad news.
Bad news first.
Cool. We're out of alcohol. Good news. This is from the inn that we are at, and they are guaranteed a hot bath for when you come back anytime covered in blood and guts. No questions asked.
Well, that is good news.
So, how much blood and how much guts, and do we need more manacles?
We don't need any manacles.
He might. Need
It's
manacles.
it's necrophages.
I don't do dead things.
We don't need manacles. I told you there was no need.
All right then, we're good. This is Markham. Yeah, I know, it's the whole thing. He gets very upset by it. Markham, this is the Countess Baron von Velder. She's a very important witcher. Don't piss her off. You do what she says, and if she tells you to do something, don't ask questions. Also, duck when she tells you to, because otherwise you might end up dead.
Is this guy's in a messenger's uniform? Not a guard's uniform?
The
No,
2
the
guards
guards
are
are
now
posted
standing.
outside.
The 2 guards are standing outside the door of the
We're all in
store.
the doorway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're standing guard on the outside of the doorway to basically act it, because you had gone outside
Yeah.
after you'd milked.
Like on the stoop.
Yeah, and so they're kind of standing there. They're there to protect the scene. The messenger dude is there to basically act to be your runner. That's what Zerny is telling you. This,
Okay.
if you need anything, Markham will help you find it. Markham will come get somebody with more swords and stabby. Although Markham is pretty good with the stabby, and Markham just kind of nods and pulls from behind him what basically looks like a Zweihander on a dwarf.
Nice.
I mean, it's probably just a long sword to you, but to a
Yeah.
dwarf, it's about the size of him.
Yeah. Right now, just nod.
And then he kind of shucks it back behind his back, and then twists, and you realize that he's got the whole
At the base of his neck.
at the
Yeah.
base of his neck, so you don't see the
Smart. Pommel.
hilt and pommel.
Hilt. Yeah.
And he just kind of nods and goes, and you're like, but at the same time, this is he's not there to really fight things.
No.
He's there to act as a runner if you need it and bring communication. All right then, I'll go tell the rest of the crazy people that things are changing. Also, thank you for giving me an excuse not to go to dinner with my sister. As he finger points and walks away.
Oh, so glad for you.
Well, what happened? What was that? Do they need
Oh.
me?
No, I think you're fine.
Oh, excellent. Well, if I
Um,
don't have to make some sort of witness statement, then I think I should
well,
be good.
you've told me what you know, so if it's needed, I could say you told me.
Excellent. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, Lady Witcher, and have a good time with all of this.
Yeah, thanks. If you wind up encountering any more necrophages throughout the city I'm staying at, and I'll give them the name of the inn,
Mhm.
and I would appreciate if you let me know.
I certainly hope not.
I hope not as well, but if there is a nest, it could happen anywhere at any time.
Hmm. Hmm. Um, why do you think it hit Gemma's shop? Do you think that was just random? Random happenstance? Chance?
Because
or
there
do you-
was a tunnel.
Yes, but why do you
Did
think...
it look? Did the tunnel look freshly dug, or had it been there a while?
No, it looks very fresh.
Well, they tunneled in.
Right.
At this point in time, I cannot say if it was a targeted attack or if they just smelled easy dinner.
How close is Gemma's shop to all the other shops here?
I mean, it's like it's a cul-de-sac.
Because the coffee shop is
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Yes,
so it's
but
like a
that's gonna
cul-de-sac.
be a lot busier. It's gonna sound a lot more noisy,
Yeah.
so they might not want to go towards the main area. Like when you go hunting for the weak gazelle, you don't go towards the main herd. You go for like the quieter sounds. So if they're tunneling
Yeah.
the noise, if there's only 3 people in that shop and a lot more noise in the other shops, they might have gone for that one instead.
Just that,
Is what Brenda's theorizing.
because he's like, because Razmi's shop is there as well, right? Like there are a number of shops
Across
that are
the
right.
street.
So
Yeah.
it's a cul-de-sac. When you come into that from that arch with the androgynous looking figure that shifts gender presentation as you look at it, as you're facing it, to the right is Gemma's shop, to the left is the cafe, and at the far end of this cul-de-sac, in this little courtyard area,
Yeah.
is Durin Razmi's
Cool.
forge.
Are there only 3?
Yes, these are the
buildings
only
here?
3.
Okay.
And then, like, there are a
Okay.
couple and that's why,
Yeah,
like, the
seating
cafe
areas.
The
kind
picnic
of is a
seating
bunch
for the
of
cafe. Yeah, it spills out.
seats,
Yeah,
spills
yeah.
out.
The mountain
Yes.
is Gemma's shop the only one that has a wall against the mountain, or do they all?
No, they all
3
kind
them?
of, because all of the shops are caverns that have been
Yeah.
created. So, like, this is a singular cavern
Yeah.
that opened into a bunch of smaller caverns,
Yeah.
into these
Yeah.
3 smaller caverns that
Yeah.
are, then designed as in carved in ways that fit the space for whatever they're doing. And then
Yeah.
there's a wall to not go into that's not carved out.
Yeah.
And Gemma's just happens, there is a big hole that's been carved in.
Yeah, I will say that the question that I'm wondering is whether or not this was targeted, just happenstance.
Well, necrophages aren't particularly renowned for specific targeted attacks.
That is true. So I suppose it was just bad luck for her then. By
Most
the way,
likely. If it wasn't bad luck for her, then we have bigger problems than necrophages.
well, I imagine the people of Mahakam do. There is, just so you know, that neither of the 2 body pieces that I found belong to Gemma.
No, I would assume not.
No, probably customers.
Human or elf, something like that.
Yes. Too bad. I wanted to buy something from her. I suppose that will just not be the case.
Brenna doesn't. Straight face. Like, oh well, maybe she's still alive, and maybe she was. Probably not, but the possibility exists.
Interesting, though, there are no other body parts, only just pieces of 2.
I imagine the rest were carried down the tunnel.
Yes. Which means she could possibly be still alive.
Mm-hmm.
You're a witcher, you do things for money. I imagine if you rescued her, you'd probably get quite a bit of a what do you call it, a reward.
If she's alive, then that could be the case. Generally, witches would like to make contracts, because you might be surprised how many people do not give money as a thanks out of the generosity or kindness of their hearts.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all. People are like that. Although I imagine now, as a noble, you probably don't need the money. So just do this for fun.
Oh, once a witcher, always a witcher. It doesn't matter what else you do in your spare time.
Yeah, well, Well, if you need anything.
And the Witcher School always needs money.
Oh, well, isn't that always the case? Well, I want to thank you for being my translator. Otherwise, this could have been quite the thing. If they don't need me, I'll go. I will. If you wish, I can give you a blessing, and as thanks for being my translator.
Sure. And also, none of the notes that I'm supposed to deliver for my husband are addressed to this gentleman, correct?
Mathvaren,
Mm-hmm.
you can look through them.
Yeah. Just give me a moment, and I'm going to look through them, because I have them all with me right now, so I'm just going to flip through. Like, just make sure. Please don't be a letter for this guy.
There is not a letter for Mathvaren. There is a letter for Odriana Varen.
Okay. I will say, you said your name was, Math Varen?
Yes, Lord Mathvaren,
Would you happen to
of
know an
Magturga. I'm sure
Odriana?
you've heard me. What?
Would you happen to know an Odriana Varen?
Yes, that's my wife. Why do you ask?
I have a letter for her from my husband.
Oh. Strange. Well, why?
I do not know the content of every single letter he writes.
Well, we're
I'm sure it's
staying.
business related. I'm here technically on a business trip for him.
Oh, yes. Well, my wife is an expert trader. We're staying over in the caravan reception area. That's where we've laid down our stakes. We're
I'll
here
tell
for
you what, how about I go with you if you're going back to your caravan and I will deliver this message and you could give me a blessing and...
It involves bleeding.
Oh, that's fine.
All right, then. Some people are squeamish about these things.
I just look at the blood, like, flashback to 10 minutes ago. We're squeezing it out of an organ. And just like, I'm not particularly squeamish.
Ah, good. So many people are.
It would be very bad if a witch of us. It would be very inefficient. But let me just tell the guards something real quick, and I'll swap to Dwarven, walk up to them and go, there was a necrophage attack here. A tunnel is still open back there, leading further into the mountain. Things might come out, so I would just be aware of that.
They both look at you very seriously and nod, and then one reaches over, closes the door.
I just
like,
nod.
all right, and then looks looks to his buddy, looks around, spies one of the other, not Gloin, because apparently Gloin is just sitting there and enjoying another round.
Gout leg
With
propped
his
up.
gout
Yeah.
leg propped up. But one of his, one of the other younger people who are still hanging around and kind of points, goes, "You, head back to the guard station. We need 6 more guards now." Dwarves don't mess around.
No. And that's and Ren will just nod like, all right. My work here is done and is gonna follow Math.
And so Markham goes with you. We're gonna cut over to our good friend Durin. Durin.
Yes.
You now got in to the Council of Elders. There are 3 of the 12 currently present. One of them is Mesmo Gulo. The other, one of the others is, what's his name? I have so many frickin'... Where are you in my notes? Where did you go?
So many dwarves.
So many dwarves. Not like I have a small amount of notes in general for this game.
It's not like there's stuff going on in this game, you know?
Not like there's like 50 billion things going on in this game.
I wouldn't know about that.
Wouldn't know about it all.
Oh, one of them is Rundrin, the elder-in-chief. Is currently in the council room. Rundrin, Mesmo Gulo, and wait, yes, and Rundren's son, that's who I'm missing in that pile of notes. Where is he?
Nesmo's there?
Oh no, excuse me, not Rundren's son. Yeah, Rundren's son, Zolkard Stanhall. Mesmo, Rundren, and Zolkard Stanhall.
All right.
My file. That's upsetting.
Gentlemen, I hate to be a bearer of bad news at any time, but this is particularly upsetting.
Mesmo looks at you, slightly concerned. Rundren just kind of puts down the ledger he was working with and raises an eyebrow and goes, Razmi, you're not usually very panicky. How bad?
This is bad. Though, it seems as the ancestors have decided to bless us with an option, at least.
How much is this option going to cost?
Significant. Apparently, necrophages have infested the range, at least this month. They nabbed Gemma and at least 2 others, but there is a witcher that came in with the caravan.
Witcher in the city.
Yes.
Zolkor kind of looks at you, raises at the mention of the Witcher. Are you willing to undertake negotiations?
Certainly. They have already contacted me about doing work on their swords.
Good. You have negotiations. Don't go over 20% over expected costs.
I will see about finagling what I can do, if nothing else, between both your coin and my work that should hopefully cover.
If we have to, we can go to 30% over expectation, but
considering how bad this could be, yeah, but I'll see what I can do.
anybody notified the family yet?
No, I came straight here.
And he looks, Mesmo, you got that one? Mesmo nods. It's like, I know Gemma's brother. I will take him to a drink. Ooh, wait. Do we know who any of the patrons were that got snagged with her?
All was found was a hand and a leg.
Dwarves or...
No.
There's this moment where he's like,
Bigger.
No big loss.
I don't really care for big folk, but at the same time, it's bad publicity.
business,
It's
yeah,
bad
yeah.
business. You died in my shop. You died in my mountain. It's not great.
That's the only thing we care about. Is it bad publicity? You know
That's
what I mean?
it. That's all he cares about.
Brenna-
He cares about
That's
the
all
public.
Brenna cares about too. She gets it.
Yeah, absolutely. I just care if it was an animal or a tree. Otherwise, who cares? It's not an animal or a
So-
tree.
No, it's right now it's a mess. Don't know the particular type, just macrophage, and apparently they can tunnel.
Tunnels. Wait, there was a tunnel in the back of Gemma's? And Zolkor, we need to do some, get me the cartographer guild. We need to do some mapping. We don't want tunnels that are showing up where we don't want them. There wasn't supposed to be anything back there. It was supposed to be strong. Gemma demanded when they put the store in 150 years ago that there was no backing because, thieves.
Yeah. Well, someone tunneled, and most likely necrophages got in.
Okay. Zolkor, you're on. Get me the cartographers. All right.
I hate to also put forward the possible theory this only. But considering Gemma didn't necessarily have that many friends and was sitting in a bunch of wealth.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Considering Gemma didn't make a lot of friends and was sitting in a bunch of wealth, I wouldn't put it past somebody to have tunneled through and possibly have gotten eaten themselves by unleashing something. And now we have a bunch of stuff in the rooms. I'm just saying, keep your
I could
eyes and
believe
ears
it.
open for missing people, because we might have reasons now.
Adelaide! I need you to take a memo. Adelaide, come. And a younger female dwarf comes in with 2 notepads and like 3 stylus coming out of her hair in this like very intricate, huge double bun. She pulls one out and goes, I'm ready. And she kind of looks in Durin, looks at Zolkor, and she goes, oh, so we're at category 3. All right, let's go.
On that note, I should probably get back and start talking to the Witcher.
And I think that's where we're going to end tonight. It's relatively short premiere. It's okay, we're going to have our guest for a couple more weeks. But we will go around, let everyone share some love, share some fun, mostly because we don't want to go till 2 o'clock in the morning, because if you find something in that tunnel, we might go into combat, and
Yeah.
it's us, guys. It's us.
I'm just gonna give her a blessing. That's all.
We can start with a blessing next time.
Hopefully. I mean, who knows? It might not work.
Yeah, hopefully. But we
I
will
feel like it's not really good for Witchers, but
find out. You know, this Witcher is a little unique. They have a love of vivisection.
but still.
But we're gonna go around, let everybody show some love, show where you can be found, all of these good things. And why don't we start with the latecomer to the party, the individual directly below me on the overlay. Hey, Trooper, how are you? How you doing?
Hello, I am Trooper SJP. I'm doing very well. It was lovely to introduce you all to Lord Mathvar Wren of Magturga, who I'm sure you've heard of, also Druid of the Great Circle of Caird Mirkfit, which I'm sure you've also heard of. And it was lovely to be able to introduce Math, and also his daughter, little Ainfra, and his wife, who I suppose you'll get to meet more next week.
Yeah. Letter for her.
Yeah, and I appreciated. I just want to give some love to. I want to give some love, a little complicated love. It's all around the same thing, but one to Lindy for having Brenna, offer to help drain the leg, and also for Pope's reactions to that entire moment, because they were there. They were there. The reactions were delicious and excellent in every way. I was like, oh, Pope, I love you right now. Yeah, drain the leg too, absolutely. And and I want to give some love to Prax for the descriptions of the visions, of like the really cool things in Mahakam. Yeah, that's what I want to do. And I suppose you can find me. What is today? Today's Sunday. You can find me tomorrow over at Wandering DM's channel at 8:30 for also, you can find more than just me there for Montreal by Night. And then on Wednesday is the penultimate episode of Upon the Hexhamshire Moors, a Good Society game, over at Left Lindy's channel at 8. And then Friday, this is your spoiler. Friday we'll be running a 2-shot of Tunnels and Trolls on Friday at 7 p.m. on my channel. So that is as part of the Let's Play games from the first decade of gaming's history from 74 to 84 project. So that's me. Ta-da!
Yay, indeed. Check all of those out. Check all of the things. All of that will be great. And I'm sure tomorrow that a certain vampire won't immediately murderize a bunch of people.
Oh, I'm gonna try. I mean, you might stop me, but it's a messy crit. My beast is gonna have some fun. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That could be very interesting. We'll find out. Next to Trooper. Hey, Lindy. How you feeling?
I'm good. People know Brenna, and she doesn't particularly like it.
That's
but
what your brother was trying to tell you.
fine.
Your brother was trying to tell you all that way back when.
Yeah, but like, ew. People knowing who she is, man,
Yeah.
it's just even harder to partake in hobbies. It's fine though. Whatever. Maybe I get to murder some things in the mountain. She just wants a break. Honestly, right now it's been go, but new sword enhancements, maybe. That's exciting for Brenna. She loves a good murder weapon, you know, just for her work and hobby. You know, it's like when you hear, it's like you go on like on the plan, like, oh, you here for work or pleasure? That's what it's like when she goes to the weapons shop. It's like, oh, work or pleasure, and she's like both. My favorite moments were the when Math had the hand. It was like, do you need this? And Brenna was like, no, and he just dropped it. Just thunk. That was, I loved it. That was it made Brenna smirk, which is an achievement in and of itself. Just like, yeah, yes, no regard for the human flesh bags. Whatever, it's fine. I loved that, and I also liked Razmi Durin showing off his wares. He's like, oh, if you want something that could murder real good, we got this, we got that. She's like, a murder store. It's just, you know, made her day. It's like a kid on Christmas. Yeah, it was great. And then the descriptions were also very good. I liked Gloin with his gout leg saying like, no, I'm gonna watch this is gonna be good. That was also good. And I cannot wait to meet Meth's wife, give her the letter. Brenna's like, I need to get these delivered before I get sent on new witcher hunts. This is important. This is why I came here for. It's part of business needs to be handled, and I'm very excited to see it next week. But in the meantime, you can find me on my channel at Laugh Love Lindy tomorrow night for some more Mondays in Exandria, the new batch, where it is very exciting. We've got hands that are crawling out of a lake apparently, and we opened a farmstead door, and the floor was covered in human bones. My Warforged War Wizard is just taking it all in, just taking it all in. You know, humans are so fragile. Just meat bags are so fragile. But on Tuesday, you can find us for the premiere of a new campaign on my channel, Stargate Flames of Hope. It's gonna be Stargate. It's gonna be fun. We've got a fun little crew for it, and most of us have made our characters, and they are going to be interesting. So definitely tune in for that. It's hopefully going to be it's gonna be a little two-shot with hopefully development into a full, like 14-episode series. Nice little arc. And then on Wednesday for our penultimate of the Upon the Hexamshire Moors, our Good Society game with Trooper as the facilitator, and of course here next week for more Witcher.
Indeed. And then that'll be great. Check all of that out. See all of the things. Encourage all of the people that Lindy associates with because they're all great. That leads us to, last but certainly not least, our guest for the beginning of the season. Thank you, Pope, for coming. Thank you, Pope, for agreeing to be like, I was like, hey, I need a couple of guests to start this season. Hey, Pope, you want to play a dwarf? You want to be a dwarf?
I look the part.
You do. You also
hat.
Play some very interesting dwarves.
Yeah.
Dwarven culture is very near and dear. There is definitive striations within what has been written about that culture, and like I'm slowly going through all the archetypes. So this is getting to check off the weaponsmith. This is checking off beautiful part of that list. It's been so far an absolute delight. Also, the Witcher crew is absolutely amazing. So being able to spend any time with them is an absolute treat. And yes, I am just delighted that I got a slight little happy rocking back and forth from Brenna. That achievement unlocked. Wait until you get to the modifications. That's when we might get a smirk. And then the whirlwind of dripping disdain that is Math is a sight to behold.
Look, I rolled it. I rolled the dice, and the dice were like, "This is your character." So I was like, "Okay, this is who this character is." Got it.
Brenna might take more offense if she knew more human perception and or had been hanging out with Kadern and Yanto all this time. So at this point, she's just like, whatever. Like, your disdain doesn't bother me.
It's just like I have 3 set priorities, and all of you are lesser beings.
I mean, she's a countess, so respect for that,
You are above ants. Congratulations. And
I see that.
Just seeing that was a sight to behold. And then just getting to have the wonderful time with getting a feel for the council, getting a feel for Mahakam, and the dumpster fire that is Zerny.
Oh, Zerny.
Yes.
You guys say that, but he's not a dumpster fire. He's very good at his job. He makes a lot of money. He's noble. He's just
He is the most put together, most secure, most firm of dumpsters. So he contains the fire well.
I
will just say that some people did not even know he was a noble for a very long time because none of that was shared. But here's the thing: he is such a noble. Do you know what I mean? Like he is such a noble.
Yes.
He's not people are like, he's a dumpster fire. It's like, nah, he's an entitled noble ass. He is a party kid, noble party kid.
Yes, like if
He's
there were like
thanks for getting me out of that family dinner. Here's a messenger guy, and Brenna's like, I want to ask why, but I'm scared to ask why.
It's like, if you need me,
know where he's been, so you don't know where anything else has been.
I know.
Where you do. I mean, I'm just saying.
No.
Brenna wants nothing to do with anywhere Zerny has been most
and so this has been an absolute delight. I am joyous to be here as per usual. Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World on Twitter, Pope World on Twitch. I work in all your streams. If you want to see my ridiculous dwarven face, there's a number of opportunities throughout the week. I'm going to go in slightly odd order because it's pretty much there's the place you can find me that isn't this channel. There's like 2 of them, and then there's this channel. So coming up next is tomorrow with 2 other wonderful individuals over at Wandering DM for Montreal by Night. I have concerns that things are going to get as messy as Gemma's, and
I'd have concerns too.
that might be bad.
It'll be bad
because there's only. That's the modern world, and there's not enough prestidigitation or Clorox to clean that up. And then Sundays before I'm here, I'm over on Balrog 1911 doing Drinkwood, the Blood of Tyrants. Everything is right about to go off. The fireworks and explosives have been set, a rabble has been roused, and what is our distraction plan may turn into the primary plan, depending on how things fan out. So definitely tune in next week to see if we kill the Duke or we just sabotage his crown. And then you'll find me here because I follow Prex around like a pug puppy, as here for Wednesdays with more long retreat. There is a steam tank, there's an ogre on top of it, there's a dwarf dangling off the end of the cannon, and there's probably some sort of aerial beastie that's going to try and kill us all. So yeah, that's going to be a time at high speed. I'm glad the thing can stop now.
It's safe to drive. I made sure it was safe to drive.
Safe is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. We'll see just how safe it is come Wednesday, and you definitely won't be here at 9 p.m. Eastern for that. And then Saturdays, you get to see me put on different headgear as I play the crankiest wizard to ever wizard over on Song of Agapia's Fortune. Poor Bandbris has been shanghaied into another adventuring group and is thoroughly displeased. So if you want to see Team Happy versus Team Grumpy, tune in for that on Saturday nights, and then be back here for more The Witcher goodness where I have no idea what's going on. I want to know what's in those letters. I want to know what Gavril has for me. I also have no earthly clue what led up to poor Kemma's death, and if it has anything to do with, well, if you've been watching Witcher, there is a like madman's web of interconnected plots, plans, and just disasters that happen to this crew, where there's something that's tied to someone, and I'm just trying to go, okay, so it's obviously monsters, obviously, but who released them? Who's responsible? Because there's always someone responsible. So there's the mystery aspect as well. And I am looking forward to this ride so very much. Thank you all for being here for it. For a live VOD YouTube story is nothing without its audience. You're much a part of this as we are. Thank you so much for being here. And take care of yourselves, one another. And I think the hashtag for today is leg squeezings.
Yes.
Leg squeezings is one. Anna Geek recommended Irma. Shouted. Just Irma!
I was thinking lemonade because we were squeezing it like lemons.
Okay. Yeah, you want
Or leg juice. It's fine.
Leg juice is good too.
Yes, like juice. Lemonade.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
lemonade, just immediately it's that little bit of acid in the back of the throat.
It's pretty great. I also loved it when Math was like, "It requires blood. Are you squeamish?" And she's just like, "I'm a fucking witcher." Like,
Yeah, but see, honestly,
No.
sometimes when you stab someone, they get all violent on you, and so he doesn't want to stab you without you giving consent.
I mean, consent is very
Sometimes
important.
People get
Yes.
all,
Continuous, enthusiastic
Are you-
consent.
But are you squeamish?
So, look, there's a big difference between stabbing other people and yourself getting stabbed. Some people are really fine with stabbing
Brenna
other
is
people.
like, all blood all the time.
Look, we all know what Brenna's into. It's fine. And if you don't, you should check out the VODs, which are all on YouTube, because they're great, and a great opportunity to check out the rest of the story that these people are doing. As Pope has told you, it is a lot. And when I tell you it's a lot, it's a lot. I has notes. My notes are complicated. Multiple types of notes. It's great. But, hi everybody. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax, at DearJanan on Twitter, or PraxGorthesme4 as you see me around here on Twitch. And I loved every minute of tonight. I loved our dear Math coming in just total utter disdain, but also well, you put children on their shoulders if you like them. And
Yes.
well, yes, I think I like my daughter.
Of course, I like her more than I like basically everyone else.
Yes. Yeah, uh-huh. And then, all of it was great. The bonding and the excitement that Brenna had for the shinies in the store. It's like, there's a jewelry store and an armory right next to each other. Which one is Brenna gonna be more happy with? And I'm like, Lindy gonna be happy with the stabbies.
Yep.
All the stabbies. And Pope just being like, okay, I'm here. I have worked with Witchers before. I understand the game plan. I'm here as backup. Way far behind you. I'm behind you. Like 2 football fields behind you, but I'm behind you. I'm here for all of this. And next week we will have our other dwarf back for our friendly neighborhood Ardzo. And then in a couple weeks we'll have Kadern back. I'm sure that nothing will go wrong there. Absolutely nothing. But, and then tomorrow, where you can find me is important. You can find me tomorrow with Trooper and Pope, both of these 2 peoples, on Wandering DM for Montreal by Night. And when I say that the Ravnos is the most restrained individual of the two vampires that are dealing with this issue. That tells you a lot.
Look, I'm very restrained and then I'm not. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Like
It's
everything's
fine.
fine and then it's not. That's all.
And the Ravnos was the one who was brought here to do the murder. Like, I was brought to do a murder, and we'll figure that
But see,
out.
the thing is, you'll do the murder like in a professional way,
Yes.
without witnesses. You know, that's different. Like that's a very restrained way of doing the murder. You know, like in respect for that.
Yep. And then on Wednesday, back here on the channel for the Zweihander long retreat, I feel like somehow it's the two dwarves who are the most secure in this situation. The one, Hopes, is driving the tank, and so is actually inside the tank, and he's fine. And my Nethra is hanging suspended from the gun of the tank. So, like, I have cover in the shape of the gun itself, right? That's my argument. It's the ogre and the human godsworn of Sigmar that are riding on top of the tank. If there's something's going to attack us from the sky, it's their fault. They're going to get it first. It's fine. Then Saturday, back here for a Song of Agapia's Fortune, where they survived last night. Things will be entertaining, but they've all decided that they're going to work together. It'll be great. I can't wait. It'll be great. It'll be so great. But other than that, we should send some love out into the universe and share our good positive energy and vibes with someone else. And well, Johnny is the only one who's up. So we're going to go raid Johnny. And send Johnny some love. But until next time, everybody,